Shill shay.
Yes, excellent idea.
Oh,
And
my body.
It's
Doing fun things. Yes.
not sure that dynamic lighting exists on this page.
Which map?
Which
Which map?
The well, I know for a fact that it doesn't. I'm doing it real quick right now. Excellent. That'll do. And let me turn on lighting. Enabled. Enforce line of sight. Only update on drop, I guess. Okay. But there should also be, yeah, no, okay, right, that's good. That's... Alright, and I'm going to collect everybody from the Ajax and to move you to another... No. Let me see.
I never put us on the Ajax.
No, okay.
Carl Harris?
Oh, who's Roger Ross?
That's Lee.
Lee.
I'm changing my
Oh.
logo. One moment.
That's fine either way. Well, undo.
Or should I go with the?
I mean,
recap?
you can be Roger Ross. That's fine. Or you can use that character art. I'm just gonna real quick change another person's character art. But that works. Yeah, the other person is now this person. Excellent. And I need okay. Oh wait, Lee, did you say we're live?
Yes. They can't see
It's on the
anything.
stream is starting page.
Okay.
I don't know whether or not they can hear anything because I always have that Twitch tab muted.
We got sound popping on the board. If
Amazing.
anybody could have the chat up, Pat and I are both tied down, net and device wise.
Don't worry, I got you, boo.
Wunderbar.
Malcolm has an ear for you.
Who? What the fuck? What does that mean, huh?
What does that mean?
Going on the stream right now is an ad for South Park.
I liked it when they were doing the I thought they had a really nice ad for Adventure Time 2.0.
There's an Adventure Time 2.0 now?
Yeah, they're coming out with one. I saw the ad last time I was watching somebody on this channel.
Wow.
On Twitch, I mean. Okay, so I'm super duper organized. Let me collect everybody.
Of course, yes.
Then I need to, yeah, actually, let me make a show post. A real quick show post. I'm going to make hashtag rigid stars a thing.
Pog?
So if you guys want to show rigid star or hashtag rigid stars on Twitter or whatever, it's going to be a thing. Especially because this is going to be like a 3 to 6 episode thingy. Okay. Yes. 2 nights.
1 to 6?
I'm letting, or 3 to 6.
Maybe we'll do it done in one session. Maybe we'll get it done.
I mean, if you all die, I guess I can't really prolong this.
Yeah. It's 1 to 6. So what it really is one, or it's 6 episodes, but when we all die, inevitably at the end of episode 2, it's done.
This campaign is never more than 1 roll of 12 on the major component damage table away from ending.
Actually, that's not entirely inaccurate. It's the first session of Rigid Stars. Our first session, our first campaign of hashtag changed stars on hashtag
Don't you mean hashtag for rigid stars?
We're live. Well, I already said rigid stars.
Okay.
Those of you who are watching, if we have anybody watching, please enjoy the clear presence of organization that we so painfully demonstrate every single time we go live.
Don't worry,
Hey
Pat.
there.
No one comes to this
Hi,
stream for
Malcolm.
organization.
Have our shit together.
Yeah, like
Wow, conveniently I did.
ours set up is such that I can barely even load the Facebook group to shill. This is yeah.
Well, that kind of sucks.
In other news, I have cheesecake, so that's a good time.
Oh,
Join the human.
I have a
So-
question for you, Pat. Why isn't cheesecake an item in the Alien rulebook? Because you made that.
I did not make the Alien rulebook. However, I
disagree.
will add it as
That
an
is
item.
the sound of lies.
Eat/drink your damn bug juice. How dare you request other food items?
Seriously.
I'll have you know that games in theory get special dispensation.
You don't know what's in here, Madeline.
Also, I do have bug juice on my character, unironically, because it's, in my opinion, for any campaign where I expect to be out of a place for a while, stupid not to have some.
Yeah, I mean, it does fulfill food and drink.
I also have coffee and liquor.
God, are we actually
Which,
using the
fun
food and
fact-
drink rules this time?
I
I don't
hope
ever
not.
used to.
To be determined.
Coffee adds one stress, liquor removes one stress. So if you made an Irish coffee, all you would do is lose one wit because alcohol also does that.
Yeah,
Wow,
you would
that
still
really does
come out as a
explain
dead
what
mistake.
happened to Ireland, civilizationally.
Stop.
It's my
I think
people. I
that's
have
my-
that lane.
Hey,
Did you
I'll
say the
have
Irish
know,
civilization?
What really happened to Ireland was +1 English.
Implying there was footnote.
They
Stop.
saved
That's
civilization
toxic.
according to
Oh
this
my
one book.
Okay, time to grab everybody and move them to a screen that they can actually see. Copy. Oh man, these are some lovely characters. Lovely character art. Amazing.
My impression of Pat right now.
Wow! Wow!
Just giving himself a real pat, huh?
We stand. Rainbow, you've come over to the right side.
I was gonna say Lee's
Stop
infected me.
saying that word.
Alright, so can anybody see?
Yes, that name
I
plate is definitely the perfect
I can see
time.
all of our tokens
Okay.
and a vast emptiness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
no one has
Weird.
line of sight.
Why
Yeah,
is
you have to
there
give the
no-
tokens. Say,
Oh, hold up. Okay.
The tokens that
Yeah, I
I
thought
gave
that
the
they
token site.
Okay, so there's clearly something
What's
wrong
the
with
map? What's the map?
liking them.
this
Did you-
is
did you-
God.
did
It's,
you hit
it's
global
human
illumination?
capital ship.
Does it have
This
global illumination?
on.
Oh, that's the problem.
Hey! Now I can see a small corridor with some
And
books in
Pat
it.
said, "Let there be light."
Oh no, there's the Nazi / former
You're on
British
their
character.
side.
Yeah, don't you? What do you mean? That's
The
You're
coming
Yes,
of
something.
home.
They're the good guys.
Yeah!
Oh god, look, the human emblem is plastered everywhere. Get the propaganda poster saying that we should kill the Mirai. And there's
I've
one with
taken
the
I
Thrin,
put so
yeah.
much work in this.
actually looks really good. Holy shit! This
Yeah.
this is so cool. This over here.
Oh my goodness.
Wowzers.
Heroic golden eagle's wings extending out from the human
Yeah.
empire's flag.
Mhm.
Oh fuck.
Here, look, cute but deadly.
Wowzers.
Sony, the bug. And
Pat,
of
if you have any
course,
audio only elements you want to give, now could be the time. I have to fuck with cameras.
audio only. Oh,
I think
okay.
if you want to narrate like an introduction.
Yes. Let me go ahead and narrate a little bit because we love our viewers, but they may not realize that we are in a different changed stars version of the changed stars setting. We are actually 120 years before the changed stars you all know and love. So let me set the scene. The year is 2379 AD. Emperor Ba VIII resides on the Martian throne, and mankind is at war. After an unprovoked assault upon the Cloudfall outpost on a frontier colony 12 years ago, the Buggos, a barbaric swarm of interplanetary locust-like vermin, initiated a war of extermination against the human species. At first, we squashed them like the bugs they were, but all that changed when their masters, the insidious and manipulative Poozies, revealed their hands in this invasion. Intent on complete galactic conquest, this insidious female-dominated faction emerged from the shadows, having already assimilated their pets, the Buggos. They turned their lusty goat-like eyes to mankind, eager to envelop us in their slippery fold. We face overwhelming odds, men, and the stakes have never been higher. This is why we need brave humans, such as yourselves, to serve and protect our glorious empire from these vile threats. You are the wall that safeguards the future of our kind. You are the spear that penetrates our degenerate foes. You are the Imperial Marines. Whether you joined for patriotic zeal, protective passion, or to earn the privilege to vote for senators, your cause is just and holy. Might makes right, and you are the mightiest motherfuckers in the galaxy. With your help, we'll stick it to the insectoids and the suckaboos, press them back where they belong, and liberate the galaxy from their feminine oppression. Hoorah! Your squad has been well, alright, that actually is coming up. I'm going to give that dialogue diegetically.
Hold up. Does the Emperor actually go by Bob?
It's Bob.
B-A-A.
Bah.
Oh, I thought it was Bob. Like, what the fuck called like Emperor Robert? Okay, that's better.
Emperor Bob.
No, he's very inspired by Scrooge. His whole bloodline, like he's now a hero. Now they rewrote A Christmas Carol so that it ends with Scrooge continuing to do what he does, but taking over London.
He's Bob the Builder's ancestor.
American. Or pretty
Bob.
Yeah, true. Okay, so a little bit more setting detail for those of you not in the know. Lee, am I still stalling for you, or are we good?
I'm trying to actually find your camera.
Okay,
so
cool.
you're the one person not on the stream right now.
That's awkward.
Well,
setting
I mean,
detail.
we need to
Max
introduce
isn't on
our
the stream
characters
either.
too.
Yes, we could also do that as well. I think everybody more or less. So let me just one more thing. The Empire, built on the backs of hard-working men and supportive women. Ooh, wow! What an inversion to my normal opening of Changed Stars, stating that the Empire was built on warlike men and ambitious women. Crazy. Our great. It's like poetry, guys. It rhymes. This is the prequel.
But
Our great star-spanning union of all mankind has stood for generations as a glimmering beacon of light and civilization in the cold, savage alien realms of space. Boldly striding forth to assert our place in the cosmos, we have surmounted the surly bonds and severed them for good measure. We've settled countless worlds, inheriting the exotic material fuel left behind for us by our ancient predecessors. We've benevolently liberated a xenomorph species, the Veer, from their backwater war-torn homeworld and brought them into the light of 1,000 suns. We've achieved feats of science and ingenuity that no one could even have fathomed 400 years ago, and we've done it all together under the watchful, paternal eye of our great emperor and the sage advice of the Senate of Representatives, elected by our privileged citizens from each system or the 107 corporations with chairs. Indeed. So that's the setting we are in tonight, everybody. We're in for a fun time. So I'm understanding that my camera's still not working, right?
It's kind of is, but it. Oh, damn it! That's not the right one. Damn it! Damn it! Yeah, no, there it is. Okay, hold on. So I have your face. Let me just do some things to it real fast.
Oh wow!
Oh, no.
Hot or not?
Wait, who moved me?
Excellent. Wow, that worked out perfectly.
0. Okay, yeah, all right. Wait, what the fuck? Hold on, no. Chat, you just saw me commit those changes, right? Pat's hold. Yeah, no, this should be Pat's camera right now. Why is this Pat's? Oh, because you got really big. One moment.
Crazy. Okay, so while I'm still not present camera-wise, I will explain...
Oh, no, you're present camera-wise.
I will explain more or less where you are.
You're the only one.
You're on Ichthus Station.
Ooh.
I should probably have read the recent events when I was giving the... I don't know if I need to actually give you the whole thing. Okay, so you've retreated. The first near decade of the war was pure victory over the insectoids, the buggos, as you call them. However, that all changed rather recently, and you've begun losing ground. Most noticeably of which, the most recent battle, which happened about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, was the Battle of New Neo-Roanoke, which after a week of battle, or sort of a couple days of battle, you unfortunately lost. The official story is that the Army General, General Jean, was the one who ordered a retreat, and he heroically died in combat. That is the official story. Some of you know that not to be exactly true. However, everybody likes talking about the official story. Except for those who don't, which probably won't be those intending to have a long, luxurious career. Notably, you along with the human fleet have retreated to the Ichthus system, which is a breadbasket and fortress world with a massive fleet, works that maintains the ships on the frontier. You're a very long way away from Earth, and you are nowhere near the core, which is to say, basically the planets that are close to Earth. But you're out there on the frontier. This is your fallback point, your rendezvous point, so to speak. And a lot of you have been allowed to move onto the station, where you are met by the workers there, as well as the corporate representatives from Fenrir Corp, which is a very active company in the outer reaches. So, I suppose, without further ado, I'll kind of slow down my monologuing a bit. 3 of you, as well as a number of, as of yet unnamed mooks, are sitting in a waiting room outside of the office, or briefing room of the Admiral Sanchez, who is in charge of the fleet residing here. The 3 of you who are sitting down are soldiers or intelligence officers in the human empire. One of the party members, who is in fact a human empire officer, is not, however, sitting with you. That would be our lovely Roger Ross, who is joined by a corporate representative from Fenrir Corp, Clarice, or Mrs. Ritter, whichever she, Ms. Ritter, I don't know, and the Fenrir Corp robot, which has been on probably many missions, but certainly assigned to accompany the Fenrir Corp representative.
Ooh.
And you are here,
Real quick,
awaiting an audience with the Admiral. You've all been requested by your captains, considering you're affiliated with Captain Ross. You've all been requested specifically by the Admiral to receive a dangerous mission. And as you wait, you hear the conversation within those doors start to patter down, and out through the doors steps an imperious-looking woman, flanked by a number of officers of hers. You recognize this to be none other than Vice Admiral Karen Marsh.
Holy shit.
Some of you may know that she was in fact the one who ordered the retreat, and it was posthumously attributed to the general. And you can tell that she's not very happy that the successful retreat was not attributed to her. She's storming. Does not listen to, or she does not look at any of you, and if anybody gets in her way, she will shove them off, and then perhaps probably some sort of military punishments. But I'm assuming none of you are stupid, or at least not that stupid. She marches through the doors, and having seen her face and having it been shift pinged for the audience, we no longer need her in the presence of you guys. You are now waiting, because you know the meeting room to be empty, you're now waiting for a summons. While you're waiting in the lobby, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves? Let's start with the soldiers. Carl Harris, please.
Are we doing backstory?
I'll start with
too, or?
soldier is a strong word. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. I am a Carl Harris. I am with Intel. The exact nature of my role and responsibilities is above your pay grade and need to know, and you don't need to know.
Games and theory, right?
Games and theory. I'm actually here because I want to make a board game out of the retreat.
Oh my.
Of course.
That's quite profitable, I would imagine.
Well, it's for morale purposes. We're going to distribute it to children.
Oh yeah, indeed. Children love squashing bugs, as you all know.
Exactly.
Good.
I mean, I'm actually part of the division that was responsible for Whack-a-Bug.
That's such a classic.
The bloodiest
really
game in
creative.
all our
Yeah.
games.
Oh, did you guys invent Hungry Loaders too?
Industry? Clearly,
I would
this is
imagine that
another
you're like the propaganda. I think you're on the propaganda side of things, TBH, from what you're saying. Kind of less
Yes.
military intel into more getting everybody very informed about the actual facts that are very, very true.
I feel like that's a
Yes,
cover.
that's definitely my real job and what I actually do.
Indeed. Who knows what you actually are?
I don't.
I don't know either.
The guy who wandered into this room.
This man walks into a room. It's quite official, though, so we let him stay.
First
No,
candidate to ever go on a
that's
top
the whole
secret
thing.
mission.
Let's hear from this gorgeous, gorgeous man. Mr. Horner.
My name is Devin Horner. I will be your pilot today and for the foreseeable future until we all survive and come back home.
I have a very important question. Are you going to be flying the ship shirtless?
I can. I have had that request in the past.
2 bullets bounce off of your pecs.
But I will say...
How would you like a body pillow made of you for distribution to, morale purposes?
I believe that would help
That would definitely boost the morale, huh?
That would definitely help the
Mr.
ladies
Horner's
and gentlemen
morale
up in the front line.
This big.
It's okay. Stop. Yeah, huge morale in that guy. Just massive.
On the subject of morale, Lucian Adams. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Mr. Adams.
Yes, so my character's name, Lucian Adams. He's what's the word? Usually angry, like some effeminate guy. He is the medic of the crew, and kind of like to the others would seem as like a snotty kid. He basically there's kind of a rumor going around that he bought his way onto the ship with
Always
his
reassuring trait to have in a medic.
with his exceedingly large wealth, which is his oil baron family has given him. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how much backstory should we give.
You can talk about being a POW.
Yeah, I guess you guys would know. Like, so before he joined the military, he was working as like a in humanitarian work, basically. Like, and was unfortunately captured by the Poozies or the Thren or whatever, and was horribly tortured with their brainwashing techniques for many weeks before the glorious human empire came and diligently freed him and all the others. And so then he, like I said, the rumor goes around that he was he bought his way into the military to get his revenge, basically. And
yeah, no, seems like a tough, strapping young lad, very manly and assertive.
Absolutely.
Indeed. So these soldiers, as well as 5 unnamed mooks, who are definitely not their backups in case their main characters die,
people who can die,
have been waiting here patiently. Just entering the room, however, is an officer that most of you would know, Mr. Ross.
Indeed.
Or Sir Ross, or Commander Ross.
Commander Ross surveys his crew and takes stock of the hunk of meat behind the Fenrir Corp representative. Well, he has certain feelings about corporations getting a little too prestigious. He is appreciative of the shape and full form of his strike craft, the Ajax, made by Fenrir Corp, a speciality of theirs, particularly the ablative glands he's just had installed before this mission. He looks out over his crew and sees that they are, prepared. He steps forward, clears his throat to address them, and says, "Crew, we go now to perform a vital task for the Empire. We know
You
not
haven't yet been briefed exactly what it is.
what we will do, but I tell you this, we shall not fail to achieve victory, even if it should cost us our lives. Now, what do we say to the bugs?" Not today.
Amazing.
They make the most lovely sizzling sound when you light them on fire from inside their own bodies.
Roger,
Oh, neat.
Roger just nods sagely and says, "Meat should serve as an example to you all."
So, behind you, Captain Ross, is none other than the person you were sent to retrieve, the representative from Fenrir Corps on this mission, the ambitious Madam, or Ms. Ritter, whichever you prefer.
She's definitely not married, but, everyone can just call me Clarice. We're all friends here. Yes, I'm Clarice Ritter, the representative of our, esteemed corporation, Fenrir Corp. You may recognize us from our most recent slogan during the wartime, "Capitalism is patriotism," or from our earlier slogan, "It can always be bigger and better." We are here to support the war effort in any way we can, including risking our own lives. Within reason, of course. Chuckles and looks at the murder robot she brought with her. And of course, we want to preserve the sensitive technology that Fenrir Corp has brought as much as possible. So let's all keep that in mind with our large shooty things. Yeah, so you guys probably wouldn't know anything else about Clarice, but how she worked her way up was she actually got acid thrown at her face because sexual methods on the rise, and she settled out of court for lots and lots of money and made her way up the ranks and eventually paid to assassinate the guy who threw acid at her because, vengeance is best served cold. And with a beautiful penthouse with, a nice sunrise ocean view. But hunger can never be fulfilled. Must have more.
Indeed. You're hungry. So, on the subject of hunger and consuming things, let's move on to meat.
I am... you guys may or may not recognize this type of robot. It's high end for the mass production robots, but it is one of the it is a murder robot that is in mass production. Massive elimination automated technology. Often, much to this particular unit's chagrin, referred to as meat, insultingly, because meat is inferior in every way.
What do you want to be called? Massive Eliminated Automated Technology 98C23F/1T?
Yes!
Lee, by the way.
Often referred to as meat.
Amazing.
Meat believes in many things, most of them being murdery things.
I'm sure it makes you feel a little bit chagrined as well that you have been programmed by those Clarice hired to program you in order to not kill your commanding officers.
I definitely don't feel any way about that.
By the way, Ms. Ritter, you have a +3 to Comtech rolls to reprogram our dear friend Meat.
Oh, lovely.
Yes. You're welcome. You might need it.
Might is a very suggestive word, my friend.
As is meat. So, you are waiting, or you briefly introduce yourselves if, you hadn't. The only people here, I imagine, who haven't met each other at least before would be, Clarice and me. I think the rest of you have met, a little bit at least. All of you know Captain Ross. He's assembled this team personally to assist the Admiral. You were all requested personally as well. This is kind of a hush-hush affair. An officer saunters forth from within the meeting room of Admiral Sanchez and gestures you forth after, a firm kind of like salute to the captain.
Okay, yeah, I would after a very brief second release him.
Indeed. Sorry, guys. IRL. I don't know very much about military procedure.
The lower person salutes the higher person and holds it until the higher person salutes back. That's it.
Everyone in the military curtsies.
Everyone's a private.
Yeah.
That's what I learned, is that there's just 15 different ranks of privates and everyone's a fucking private.
Yeah, no, so, guys, to prepare for this, I watched Battlestar Troopers, and that was the entirety of my
Battlestar. She has not said the name of the film correctly once. I think it's deliberate. Okay.
Whatever it's called. Anyway, the officers stand to the side.
You're one to talk about pronouncing things wrong.
And you are all encouraged to move into the Admiral's room. We move you guys first. Then I shall. You may take a seat. Yes, I will move all of you there. Totally capable of doing this. I'm not incompetent at all.
Oh wow, this is a large briefing room.
It is.
I mean, they probably do like strategic briefings and such here.
I assume we were going to be herded into a small conference room, not like a giant briefing room, which only happens to have a very small team.
This is a nice briefing room. But, it is the Admiral's briefing room.
Would Clarice, let on, a surprise at that? Or the fact that the Admiral is on a golden throne?
Yeah, so,
I feel like I'd be familiar with the military. Been worked with them pretty closely. I'm aware that it's styled as, pseudo-monarchy.
Mm-hmm.
I also think there's a power loader just in the corner of the room.
So Admiral.
It's the Admiral's personal power loader.
Admiral Sanchez, though, doesn't he take a little bit further than most?
Oh yes, no, he flashy as fuck. He's you can tell he really likes showing that he's in charge. He's very forceful about that, and you can see that you're not sure if it's paint or blood, but this power loader has been really thoroughly marked up by something. It's written on the back says "squish bugs." You're sure that's that Admiral Sanchez was the one responsible for overseeing that.
Is bug blood red?
No, it's not.
Okay, then it's probably not bug blood. What color is red blood?
They do have red blood. It's red.
Okay.
So it's
Although their
clearly
tongues are
friend
blue.
blood.
Yes, I'm well aware.
I know you are. Anyway, so once
as an intelligence officer,
of course, yes, intelligence. Wink, wink.
Yeah, it's on every propaganda poster. I'm glad that you know this new capacity as an intelligence officer.
It is actually on basically every propaganda poster. There's also like terrible graphic novel that's been spreading around called Among Them, which is also propaganda. Anyway, Admiral Sanchez looks up from his computer consoles and turns to the assembled masses. Men, he says, completely overlooking Miss Ritter. I'm very happy to see you all. He steps down from his golden throne. You're looking fine, befitting a troop of highly trained soldiers. All of you dressed to the nines. Excellent, excellent. He's handing out briefings personally. He likes to oversee it. As he's handing them out, he's of course flexing his muscles. You can tell he's very vain about those.
I'm the Admiral, I am.
Yes, exactly. He's the Admiral. Indeed. So he hands everybody their missions, except for he does not hand one to Meat. It is assumed that Meat will, pick up whatever's needed, or maybe has already been informed. He looks you over and says, "Men, after you've read your documents, he would look you over and say, Men, what I'm assigning you to do today is the utmost secrecy. During our retreat from New Roanoke, we unfortunately lost signal from the carrier vessel Hell's Heart. I believe that it disappeared, or military intelligence believes that it disappeared during the jump through surf space, somewhere between New Roanoke and our current location at Ichthus system. One thing that you will not notice, or one thing that you will not see in your briefing paper, is that we have several remaining intelligence outposts between here and there. We believe that one of these outposts may well hold the key to unlocking the location of Hell's Heart. This carrier ship is equipped with a vast number of vessels and is itself of the utmost importance and a very battle-capable vessel, which means that to let it fall into enemy hands would be devastating. We must not allow this to occur. Your mission and you have no choice but to accept it, is to find Hell's Heart and retrieve it, bringing it back to this system, or destroy it if it has become inundated by enemy forces. Do not return without completing this task, or, well, you know what awaits you, should you so choose to neglect in your duties. That said, I have the utmost faith in all of you.
I assure you, Admiral, no one will make it back here alive without completing the objective. Of that, you have my word.
Captain Ross, your reputation as a man of your word precedes you. That's why I picked you personally. I trust you and your judgment.
You humble me, Admiral.
Make me proud, boys. Bring back Hell's Heart. Remember, we are all that stands in the way of Poozies making it to the core colonies. We are the gate. No, we are the shield that guards the realms of man. So, make me proud. Kill those fucking Poozies. Exterminate the buggos while you're at it.
Devin raises his hand.
Do you have a question?
Yes.
He would look at you and say, you there, in the back. The interesting haircut. Is that regulation?
It is when I got my exception.
Oh, well, yes. You both seem to have... He looks over at the other person in the back with longer hair than normal. You both seem to... Longer than normal hair for a man. Anyway. Continue.
Do we have any information about survivors?
Well, that is an excellent question. As it says in your briefing, the ship went silent and disappeared from the retreating fleet. We assume that there was some sort of malfunction in its surf space drive. However, we cannot rule out intentional negligence or intentional sabotage or something of the sort. There's also the possibility that some large gravitational force forced it out of surf space. As you likely know, considering most of you actually have seen at least one space battle between the human empire and the Bren, or the Poozies and the Boogos. You guys, as you well know, the Thren dreadnoughts, which are glorified repair vessels, but none of you actually know that we'll care about that. The Thren dreadnoughts are very large and could cause such a gravitational fluctuation. So you would be advised to assume that there may be survivors if nothing combat-wise occurred. However, if the combat was had, then it is quite possible that the ship was overrun, and considering how diabolical the Poozies are, I would expect no survivors. But if Captain Marcus Khan is still in command of the ship, relieve him of his duties. He has failed the Empire.
So what I'm getting here is Khan!
Pretty cool, nothing, guys. Not a reference to Star Wars.
Star Trek.
And we just lost like 10 viewers. Cool.
We had 10 viewers for 0.
Yeah, I know. That's the point.
So
of course, Admiral incompetence shall not be tolerated.
Actually, that's too bad. It could have been a double reference. Like Carol Marcus is in the movie with Khan.
Could well be. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Have I seen that movie? I will not attest to having seen it. Anyway, any further questions?
I scanned the briefing. Does it look like the Admiral has, like, obviously left out any other key details for intelligence reasons?
In the briefing, you would... No, it does not appear that he's left anything out. Not to you. You are privy to anything that the Admiral knows.
Alright, well, you know...
At least that's what you suspect.
What is his favorite beverage?
Well, whiskey. Like any man's should be.
Alright, I'm keeping that one in the back pocket. But, Roger Ross would say... Alright, crew. The Admiral has given us our orders. It is now time to execute them. I chose you all because I knew that you were not afraid to die. And that you were damn good at making sure the other bastard died first. Now then.
Indeed.
Show the Admiral what you're worth, and let us embark! And I would, like, stand up and, like, gesticulate for everyone to, like, you know... Proceed with the
Admiral
out.
Question.
The Admiral gives one... Oh, sorry. Sorry?
Were we allowed to bring, like, our weapons in here, or did we have to, like, leave them outside?
Oh, no, you weren't allowed to even get them into the waiting room.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So the Admiral sits down and says, "You have been your captain, of course, is in charge of the Trojan vessel Ajax, and your duty is to fly that into enemy lines and return with the Hell's Heart, or at least confirmation that it has been destroyed. And I understand this may take some time. Could be weeks or months, but if you fail to return, or if you return empty-handed, well, there will be no safe harbor for you. You have your mission, men. I trust all of you to carry it out dutifully. You, the POW, who proudly stands before us having conquered the enemy threat. You, our fearless pilot, one of many who makes the Empire proud. Mr. Harris, intelligence officer. And of course, Captain Ross, who can forget. And, goes on to name names that I do not quite yet know because none of you have made secondary characters insofar as I'm aware. And let's not forget our lovingly provided Fenrir core technology, massive elimination automated tech. Whatever your designation is. Go on, man. Make me proud. He sits back on his golden throne with, like, golden fucking eagle wings and shit and sips on a whiskey.
Lucien, like, stands up and salutes. Kind of, like, half-heartedly, though.
At ease, private.
Yeah, our privates don't need to be that rigid.
Commander Ross makes note of Lucian's lack of lucidity, and, he'll be by later to talk about it.
Gotta be more.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that all of the misogyny and racism is accompanied by a heaping dose of homoeroticism. As it should.
Roger will approach the Golden Throne and pull out a something in a little drawstring bag and reveal that he has some Tau Ceti whiskey, known for how rough and manly it is to consume, and offer it to the Admiral. And when the Admiral gets close, he'll say, "Most curious that the Hell's Heart should suffer a malfunction. Tell me, if I have reason to believe that anything is amiss, I assume I have permission to utilize the devices."
Oh yes, please.
Are you being hushed?
Yeah, like Roger is positioning his body such that a majority of the crew probably can't see, but Clarice and Meat would probably have a view.
We can't see the alcohol he's giving? Okay.
When you get there, if anything is amiss, or if the ship has been compromised, use them with extreme prejudice.
Of course.
And make sure that
I'm sure the human empire does everything of extreme prejudice.
make sure that bastard Khan doesn't see the light of day once more.
I assure you.
He's failed in his mission, and it's cost me dearly. My reputation is riding on the success of this mission. Do not fail me.
I lean in and I say, if that incompetent is already dead, the only question is whether or not he knows it yet. And that's when the dog walked in, and Ross very poorly pretends to have been joking the whole time with the Admiral, and slaps his knee. He's like, "Oh well, have a drink."
He pats you on the back like a big hearty bear pat on the back, just
everyone knows. The great comics know the delivery of the first half of the joke should be in hushed whispers.
Have a shot for us when you hear about how we relieved. Completed our mission, one way or the other.
Yes, that one. Excellent.
I have a quick DM question. So I was presumably sent to this assignment by the intelligence division.
Yes, probably.
Did they have any special orders from me or anything about why I got sent here? Because I imagine you don't normally send intelligence officers.
Did you choose one of the secret things?
Please tell me you're here to take down this guy for his, clear incompetence.
Max, did you choose one of them? You feel free to DM me on Facebook real quick.
Give me a second.
The agendas.
There are several secret agendas.
Oh, where are those?
At the very bottom. Do you not read the document? Oh my god.
Agendas.
There was a document?
Oh my god.
Moving swiftly on. Were we able to see?
The answer is probably yes, but I'll tell you later.
Were we able to see the Admiral holding the alcohol?
Yeah, you certainly able to see the
Admiral clearly had alcohol.
The exchange of the alcohol,
I pointed my face decidedly north, such that you wouldn't be able to read my lips.
Okay,
so
I was going to say, listen.
Meet here. You have better ears than a human. Can you just eavesdrop all the time?
I don't also be able to lip read.
Ooh.
I was gonna say, as you hand him the bottle, Lucian's gonna slick his hair back, kind of, and have a really smug look. Be like, my parents own that company, right?
Non-regulation hair.
Yeah.
Ross.
He's he combs his hands through it.
Ross is.
Are you affiliated with Fenric now?
No, the alcohol company was what I'm saying.
Oh, yes, that makes sense.
Ross is gonna pretend he didn't hear that one.
Mm-hmm. A fine company. They make excellent wine or excellent bourbon.
He kind of winks at the Admiral. He's like, I could get you a lifeline supply if you wanted. It wouldn't be that big of a deal for me.
But sir, but private. That's what capitalism's for. Not some commie who accepts handouts. He says, sipping the bourbon that he was literally handed earlier.
Yeah. At this point, I will look right at Lucian with a death stare and be like, Lucian, go prepare the medical bay.
Lucian's like, whatever.
Fine, Dad. So, with all that, all of you, except for Clarice and Meat, are to go forth to the Ajax, which is awaiting you in the hangar. Now, my good friend Clarice, there is something special that you must do. You must meet your maker. You have been summoned. You have been summoned.
Yes, Fenrir Corp has enslaved God. Gives pep talks before important missions.
Yeah,
pretty much. You've been summoned to meet the woman in charge of the bioweapons division at Fenrir Corp. You have not met her before. However, is this good? Let me see. I want to make sure that this is...
The lighting is still on this door, by the way.
You've not...
cannot leave. Okay, cool. There we go.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'll move... You guys don't actually have to leave the room. I'm going to move only two of you to the next room for like a brief second, and then we'll all rejoin. I'm splitting the party, guys. Ooh.
Meanwhile, while we're like in the like waiting room, Lucien like looks at Lucien like looks at Devin and like once again kind of like combs his hands through his hair and is like, gosh, commenting on our hair. It's not like my family hasn't given him like almost everything he owns.
I mean, we earned this privilege, and I comb my hair just the same way.
Beautiful. So as you guys are heading towards the Ajax, you, Clarice, have been summoned for a very specific meeting, a very important meeting with the woman in charge of the bioweapons division of Fenricor. You're outside her office. The secretary, one of many slender men that she frequently sees. You passed her guard, by the way, on your way here. Very militant woman. And now you're standing before her secretary, who is, rather fat. And he gestures you forth, saying, Miss Huang will see you now. Dr. Huang will see you now.
Thank you. Ooh, a nice office.
You see Dr. Huang, but not her face. Only the back of her coat as she stares out the window at the planets, or at the planet and its moons. Ichthys 4. She notices you from the sound that the door makes when you open, and she gestures you to come forth. She has a glass of bourbon in her hand. That's for you. She still has not turned around, however.
Such an honor to meet you.
Indeed. Well, I've heard a lot about you. You're ambitious, like I was. You're hungry, like I am. Do you enjoy looking at the stars?
I do. I mean, stars represent infinite possibility.
I agree. And they're just so beautiful. You see, I grew up on Earth. And, well, you know what Earth is like. You would know that Earth is kind of a hellhole at the moment. Mm-hmm. It's completely, the smog permeates the atmosphere, which is entirely too thick. It's warmer than hell, and most of the equator is underwater. Or, most of anything that could be underwater is underwater. She says, gesturing forth at the beautiful planet that you may or may not have gone to, Ichthys 4, which is a gardening world, or a farm world. And she says, yes. The great celestial bodies. As a child, I marveled at their greatness. I would gaze out my window, vainly hoping to catch just a glimpse of a single star or planet through the smog and light pollution, but to no avail. The first time I saw one outside of a holoscreen, she says, turning a little bit so that you can see her eyes, was when I left Earth for the first time. I was lucky enough to have a window seat on the shuttle, and my life's trajectory has changed from the gravity of what I saw. I looked back on Earth, and it was small. So small, looked as though you could hold it in your hand like a bruised green apple. And to think that apple was our home. This astronomically small blue-green orb was the birthplace and graveyard of almost all of humankind. One day, Earth will breathe its last breath, I thought to myself there in that shuttle. But humanity will not. No, We are no longer tethered to that green orb. No longer are we worms in the core of a rotting fruit. She turns to you. You can see her hair is gray. Her eyes, they've sunken into her skull. She looks haggard. We have metamorphosed, she says, and now we have wings. Clarice, look at them all. Gaze upon our fecund interplanetary fruit tree. All these worlds are ours. So full of invaluable resources. Biomass, water, the very fuel of the stars themselves. Any one of them could be a new home for our species. But we have access to all of them. They're so beautiful, so inescapably tempting. It's as if I could merely extend my arm and grasp one in my hands. And yet, the joy is fleeting. I can't seem to grasp one. They always slip through my fingers, she says, gesturing dramatically, as if to grab the stars themselves. With her free hand. With her other hand, she hands you your bourbon, fully turning around now, so that you can see her face. She is, not what you expected. She's a lot less put together than you thought she would be.
Does that seem like a recent phenomenon? Like, because of an loss? Okay.
You can tell that the pressure is getting to her. You've seen it before. She's on her last. She's at, she's at the end of her rope.
Mm.
Coming undone. She looks at you, measuring you up, and she says, I trust you've been briefed by the Admiral.
Well, it was certainly a brief meeting. I mean, I can see that the Admiral has high hopes for the mission. I wonder at the military efficacy of telling troops to return with their shields on it, but I suppose it worked for the Spartans.
The Admiral doesn't see things exactly the way I do. The Admiral thinks that brute force and such can solve this problem, and the administration seems to agree, but I know you to be a smart individual. That's why I requested for you to take this mission. The only thing... Let me tell you one thing. You've probably heard that the species we refer to as the buggos, I prefer to call them insectoid morph 217. You've probably heard that they're unintelligent brutes, savage creatures that wander the stars willy-nilly and spread their seed as they see fit, right? You probably don't assume that they're intelligent, but they are. They're very intelligent. Not all of them. There's a caste system in place, you see. I've spent my life researching them. And it's gotten me here. But this is not where I wanted to be. I had greater ambitions than a desk job on this station. And I've worked so hard to achieve all the things in life that I desire. I chose you because I read the report on you when I was looking over the possible candidates for this mission, and, well, you and I seem to be of the same mind here, ambitious, foiled by the petty insecurities of men in many ways. I have a request for you, a special assignment, something you can't tell anybody on your team, because I don't want this getting to anybody's hands other than mine. Not again. My shuttle. I was forced to leave it in the docking bay of the Hell's Heart. In my shuttle is my life's research. Couldn't save it. I was forced. You can see a single tear run down her eyes, or run down the left side of her eye. She quickly wipes it away. She's not used to showing sentiment in front of others. My entire life's work is in there. I couldn't have saved it. I couldn't save it, but I think you can. My assignment to you, this is, of course, authorized by the highest authorities in Fenrir Corps. My assignment is get to my shuttle, retrieve those absolutely crucial documents pertaining to the one solution I can see to ending this war. The only solution. Retrieve them for me. And you will be rewarded however you like. You can have my job for all I care. Just get it done.
Are there any special access codes I need to accomplish this?
She hands you a document. Anything you'll need to get into my shuttle, get the information, and anything you'll need to bypass security measures within the Hell's Heart that might be in place. It's all there. This is, of course, a Fenrir Corps ship, and you have the key to getting anywhere within it with these codes. Basically, assume that you have whatever that corporate agent item is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, data transmitter card with corporate codes.
Yep. So she gives you that, and she says, "Now, this is a very important mission. Is there any way I can assist you?" I can't have this mission fail. It fails. Not only my neck is on the line, but that of humanity itself.
I guess apart from the access codes, is there anything special that Fenrir Corp would know or would have built into the ship that could help me when we infiltrate it?
It's pretty standard. It's a pretty standard carrier. There's not really any sort of secret stuff to it. Although, if there is, if in the heat of the moment, you would probably know how to navigate any sort of situation regarding Hell's Heart's inner workings. You're adept at dealing with Fenrir Corps. Sorry, let me turn on some music now because that epic monologue is over. Yes. Basically, anything you need to know, she would give you. And do you have a combat suit?
No.
Then take mine. She gestures to one of these hydroponics, and lo and behold, behind it is a secret compartment.
Dun, 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 dun.
Click of her finger on a button that she has over at her desk. The door swings wide, and you see, basically, stat-wise, it would be an ape suit. It's fitted to the female body, and I think we're about the same height. Should fit you fine, and I don't suspect I'll be needing it. You see on her desk, there's a picture of her and her security officer outside, actually, finishing a marathon together. And if you look close enough, you'll see another couple of pictures of her and her security officer that you passed briefly outside. It seems that they're thick as thieves, so to speak.
Yeah.
Good to know. Sure.
So,
the homoerotic tendencies in here. Pug.
Yes, with the secret door opened, and with your chance to take the ape suit, and with meat not even remotely addressed as if they're sentient. That is all that she has for you, unless you choose to ask her questions, which you may.
I think that's it. I mean, will not fail you.
Thank you. I mean this with the utmost sincerity. You're my only hope. Don't fuck it up.
Yes, guys, in this case, their only hope isn't, saving the world from the Empire and planet-killing thing. It's getting a bioweapon so we can successfully genocide the Mirai. Welcome to Team Evil.
What do you mean evil? Don't you mean righteous?
Don't you guys mean the funnest?
Yes. So, having secured your ape suit and the codes to the fortress, you are permitted to rejoin the crew. And also, doesn't it feel great to be, validated for a brief second? Because that other guy was not looking at you at all.
I know. It's not an uncommon experience. I didn't mention it earlier, but normally in those kind of briefings, I have like a nail file out, or I'm adjusting my makeup because they assume that women can't listen if they're doing something with their hands because sexism. I mean, everyone knows that you can't use your ears and hands at the same time if you're a woman.
Yes,
I mean,
that's
clearly.
how that works.
It is known.
I mean, yeah, their brains are inferior, as we know.
Yes, indeed. So, as I grab everybody, you find yourselves. Oh wait, you guys are already in here. Why did I grab you? Fuck.
Yes,
Voting technology.
Roger Ross climbs towards his throne and, with a switch of his butt, descends upon the very tip of the mighty Trojan class Ajax, firmly enshrining himself there. And with the thrum of the
that's
machinery...
you being symbolically penetrated. You're doing very mixed messaging.
Indeed. So, you stand at the helm of the Ajax, a very pleasant to look at ship, so to speak, which I have not yet done.
It has a lot of cleaning power, I've heard.
Lee, do you have the art for it on hand? Because I did do a preliminary piece to represent the Ajax.
I don't have it on hand, but if you wanna, I don't know, put it in the Roll20 chat like an image link. But hold on,
let me see. Let me grab that for you. Yeah, this is just what I drew at work when I was figuring out what needed to be done. I have not drawn an official image of the Ajax, but considering it is essentially... Oh, wait. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Considering it is basically everybody here is Millennium Falcon. I shall show you guys what it should look like eventually. I do
now,
the art
is the Trojan class like commonly rolled out, or is this like one of the first production models that like we have special access to?
It's only been out for a couple years, and this one in particular is kind of customized and.
And have I just command of it? Is it, or like
I think you've probably flown 1 or 2 missions on this, at most.
Yes. There's the coffee machine.
Indeed. Feel free to make yourselves at home here. This is where
I feel as if though we ride atop the righteous shaft of humanity.
Yep.
Huh?
Roger.
Yes. No, please. Make yourselves at home.
I would come on the comm and say, where's the twink? I need to know your last name.
Did you say twink and engineering?
Adams. Yes. I would say, Captain Combat Lifesaver Adams, please report to the bridge.
Okay.
They're ready for some corporal punishment. Oh, wow.
He comes to the boy. He's like,
Yeah, you come like behind him because like the way this is situated, like the throne's looking out. I'm like, yeah, and once you're in front of him, he like looks at you awaiting the salute.
He gives you like a half-hearted salute. He's like reporting.
I'm like, Combat Lifesaver Adams, I'm going to need to see some more turgidity out of your salutes, as is becoming a soldier of the human empire. Or tell me, did the Poozies sap you of your masculine wiles while you were in their care?
He gets like visibly angry at that. He's like, Commander, I would consider this harassment.
Indeed, Lucian.
Oh, unfortunately, you can't report harassment anymore. You get demerited if you report anything.
These past 12 years
See
of
something,
war.
say nothing. One of the new military slogans.
These past 12 years of war have been quite the harassment of our people. However, when I first heard that you, a rich boy of plenty, had chosen to serve aboard my crew, I could not help but wonder, what was the mettle of this man who sought revenge against the terrors that came from space to so molest him? I must admit, Combat Lifesaver Adams, I have yet to see your mettle as a man, and so I shall entrust you with the opportunity to do so. I am restationing you. You are to man one of our 2 light railgun turrets in the event of an encounter. Now, Combat Lifesaver Adams, tell me. I lean forward, hands on knees, looking down at him from my raised indigo throne. Do you have what it takes to squash a bug?
He goes, of course. I am a man of the Empire, after all.
Very well, then. We shall see it on the field of glory. Navigator Horner, pick an arbitrary point, your preference, within 10,000 kilometers of the nearest appropriate listening post and surface out. Take us on an arc. I don't want anyone guessing that we're on the way.
Aye, Captain.
I pop open an alcoholic ginger beer and give a sip and say, "Dismissed, Combat Lifesaver Adams. Do not fail to show me your manhood."
I'm gonna.
Lifesaver is the worst term for medic.
he's like, aye, Captain.
I'm just picturing Lucian as a giant lifesaver with like a machine gun on top of it.
Yeah, he rolls his eyes as he says that, by the way.
Ross is already looking dead ahead at the screen over Horner and notices but doesn't say anything.
Lucian's like, may I return to the medical bay, Commander or Captain?
As is your duty until such time as battle is met.
As Roger Ross is trying to take a sip, I'm gonna purposely have some turbulence. Give Lucian a wink.
Roger's
like, make the first roll of the day. Give me a piloting. Plus
Devin,
listen, ran into some choppy space there.
The engines are still warming up.
Yeah, that's a success.
It is. Ross is very certain that it's the space wind.
And the second success is the wink.
Navigator Horner, status report.
Listen,
I'm sorry, sir. The engines are didn't seem like they were properly taken care of before launch. It will work itself out. Don't worry.
One of these guys is definitely a roughneck, by the way, and they're going to go ahead and check out.
I know that the Ajax is a big burden to handle, but trust me, Navigator Horner, I chose you specifically because I knew you had the hands to handle it.
Do we
carry on? Surface out.
Can you take up the? Is there more rooms, Pat? Can you cut out the dynamic lighting?
Oh yeah.
There's dynamic lighting.
Yeah, let me.
We cut that off. I'm so sorry.
There's a fuckload of rooms. We can. I guess Cat.
No. There should be no. Yep. You guys are welcome to. Yeah.
All of it. Oh my god.
Wow. Please admire the grandeur of the shaft that is the Ajax.
Oh my god! It just keeps going.
Yeah,
does.
holy hell.
I'm at
very
20% and I don't have the entire thing on screen.
The Empire is not compensating for anything.
Yes.
Is
Oh,
there a medical bay? Is there a medical bay?
The med
Yeah,
bay,
it's
the med
on
bay
the
is right here.
purple.
Oh, that's okay. Oh,
so
okay.
got-
What's
Cross,
this
you know?
room?
Yeah,
These
kinda
guys-
cool.
That is the comm server.
Okay,
yeah,
what's
the-
this room?
Lee, the light layer is still blocking movement, even if you turn off the dynamic lighting.
Yeah, no, I'll stop that. Hold on, I can go in. Oh, that thing right
Really?
up. That Max is actually sensor control. Normally, you don't need to be in there, but you could be in there and observe the sensor systems. It's more like if the sensors get knocked offline, you have to go there to reset them.
Okay.
And then
Indeed.
that is one of the two turret access points that you are coming up upon. Do we want to do you want a tour of the ship, everyone? Like, do we or like?
That might be
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
I mean-
it is labeled, so
And then let's go on our 10-minute break.
Yeah, and really quick, I was just gonna say, like, after Lucian leaves the bridge, he weakly punches something in anger.
Yes.
Aw,
Yeah,
cute.
for average right outside ops, there's like a hollow table, several containers, various gun racks, and then 8 coffin-shaped recesses into the floor that are the EEV coffins meant for feet-first penetration. Literally, you get in there and the Ajax spunks you out, and that is the air quotes escape pod, but it's intended to be actually an assault pod. And the golden wings mark any direction you can move in from the sort of blue area to go towards the guns. You see this little tube? You can actually pop that open and crawl through to get to the turret access faster. If you do a combat roll, it's faster.
I see.
Wow. You thought this through. By the way, we have, of course, sex-segregated bathrooms.
Yeah, I was in the one with the vending machine is the one for the ladies.
Yes, you put $1 in and you get a tampon, and right now it's
I
out.
thought it was a zesty drink to rehydrate while you do your business.
There's a door from the cryopod to the bathroom.
To the men's
to
bathroom.
the men's bathroom.
Yes, because after a man gets out of cryosleep, he likes to hop in a shower and, enjoy a nice beer.
Of
Yes,
course,
women
as
like
you
all
do.
that too, but they gotta walk.
Yeah, so in the galley, we have an espresso machine because, Captain Ross values your morale because that's what makes you useful to the human empire. And all the food and such. The lovely wings. The wings festoon this turret access point. To the south is, of course, munitions, where, the bulk of the Titan array is. It is a state-of-the-art thermonuclear deployment platform. It could literally end life on a planet if we wanted to do that. Just on the way to 7-Eleven for the captain's big slurp. There's various other firing tubes for the LSATs. There's going here we have Lucian Adams in the med bay. Over here we have the comms and servers. The father AI is stored there, and if there's a comms issue on the ship, you need to go there to restore it. Over here is the life support. There's another turret access above. We've already been over sensor control. Down below here is the ramp. So, if you land on a planet or something, this is where you would walk out. It's also got the other thing.
It's gonna have I'm gonna pop a lifter into there. Yeah. You guys have a lifter. On
the weird great stuff to the left of that is actually the air scrubbers because it's taken from the outside fairly liberally when you are in an atmosphere. So if the air scrubbers break, you have to go there to fix them. There's a main cargo. The bottom left and bottom right are both thrusters. There is a joining crawl space you can crawl up into. The reactor and FTL drive are one and the same. It is the gravitonic manipulation reactor, and it is what we use to make the millions of wormholes necessary to enter air quotes surf space as known. And then there's a general maintenance room right below munitions and next to the reactor because, moving and shooting are the most important things that the ship does in the Human Empire's view. And does anybody have any questions about anything on the map?
No.
So you're telling me the engines are stored in the balls?
Yes, the engine is.
I can see why you were earmarked for intelligence.
Fuck, that got me. Fuck. That's not funny, but for some reason I like it.
I think that's a 10-minute break, right?
Yeah, no, I think we're there, yeah. Let's hit that 10-minute break. We'll be back at 10:46.
Awesome. I think we're about to have a lot of fun.
Yes, hopefully. At the very least, as a pastiche.
Mm.
Well, I mean, the whole thing's a pastiche. What am I saying?
Hey, it's Flesh Party 2 in the chat. I assume it's the long-awaited sequel to the original Flesh Party. The best thing about trying to establish any sort of banter with the chat on Roll20 is I'll say something on Twitch. I'll say something and then watch the stream, and it'll be a solid like 20 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Before my lips start moving, and I'm like, well, by that point.
Yeah.
Well, if Flesh Party 2 is so great, why'd never make a Flesh Party 3? Riddle me that. You think you're so smart? Yeah, it's freaking ages. Every time I see myself talk, like the chat has moved on to a whole ass different subject, and our chat is like 3 people in it, so that's pretty impressive.
And that's with your, like, good internet. Now imagine with me running off of my falling apart laptop and my internet. It's a solid minute between when I talk and when I see things.
That's fair.
I'm proud. I've gone a whole month without having to add any new tape to my laptop.
Yeah, you're doing good. You're doing good.
Is it still held together largely by just like grime?
Quite probably. Though I have cleaned the keyboard.
Wow. Have you cleaned the screen, maybe?
No.
You make me sad.
Well, every time I start trying to clean the screen, you know, it's so caked on that I have to press in hard, and that's why I had to put the last piece of tape on, was because then the screen's separated from the mechanism.
Have you ever considered holding one hand behind the screen to stabilize it?
Oh no, I do. It's the issue is the screen is not the entirety of the flippy uppy downy bit. And so, as I'm pressing on, like, one cornery area, the other corner just pops open.
Okay, have you also considered maybe using some sort of mild solvent to ease the lift of your grime so you don't have to apply as much main force?
That seems like work.
It is.
When I can
By
just...
the way, Madeline, you would know that the security officers, the security officer of Dr. Danielle Huang's is named Emily LaFleur.
I'm not sure Madeline's at her computer right now.
Oh, okay. I'll tell her when she gets back. Anyway,
But Max, why would I want to do that when I could just imagine that everything I do on my computer has been filtered through a film grain filter?
Film grain filters are garbage, so I can think of several reasons why you won't want to imagine that.
What's a film? I've never seen one of these things.
Max, what is your rank stroke title?
Yeah, what do we
I imagine it's something along the lines of just like agent. Because it was my impression that the Intel division wasn't, strictly speaking, it's military intelligence, but like they do their own thing.
They don't have military ranks and shit. You're in the Secret Service. You're not in the military.
I'm gonna be honest. I just looked up the Intel division from Starship Troopers and assumed it was that.
That pretty much that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they work with the military, but not, and they are military intelligence, but weirdly they are not commanded by the military, and they in the military usually don't get along.
Yeah, 99% of the time, Captain Ross, Commander Ross will refer to you as title surname.
You could get away with intelligence officer or agent.
I was gonna go with intelligence officer, but agent does seem a little snappier. Agent.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna go ahead and say they're called the IO.
IO. Intelligence officer.
IO. It's off to spy we go.
IO Harris.
I'm currently trying to make like a really abbreviated token for the Ajax from the picture that I made earlier. Just because I feel like it's useful to have. Oh, by the way, Madeline, now that you're back, the security officer for Dr. Huang, if you wanted to know her name, it is Emily Lafleur.
Okay. Cool.
Not to confuse with Jacques Latable.
Okay.
Or Pierre Le Ceiling.
Yeah, you know how... Well, actually, it's you, so you might not know how Fleur is being spelled here.
I literally do not.
It's Fleur as in the 3rd Street Saints symbol.
Fleur de Lis.
Ah, which means flower. So I'm gonna say there's another guy named, Jacques de Batter.
Do you think flour and butter are the same type of thing?
I think they're both baking ingredients.
No, it's the other type of flour, Max. What the...
There's so many types of flour!
Harris, I see you've been baking with daffodils. Tell me, is this a Taosetti custom? I actually have no idea what planet your character's from.
I'm sending you guys that so that I can grab it and to turn it into a token real fucking fast. Okay. Boop, close that and close that. Max, did you get a chance in between the the break to read the document and pick out if there's any? Okay, is there anything that you wanted from there? Because I'm happy to work with you on an actual hidden agenda.
I think it probably won't come up in this first episode, so we'll talk about it post-stream.
Certainly. That is absolutely acceptable. This is intended to be a multiple episode affair.
Yeah. I figure, given that, we got to the break and we're just about to head off, I don't expect that.
To clarify,
I suspect we'll just arrive at the destination when
Max and Madeline's characters don't actually have a job on the ship. They just hang out, or do they take up bridge crew slots? They just technically don't answer to them.
I feel like at least Madeline could probably do some contact-y things, and maybe also Max. I don't know.
I cannot do comtech. I was considering getting some comtech, but then I looked at almost the entire fucking party have an absolute comtech, and I'm like, we're good.
What class are you again? I forget. Oh, you're a scientist?
I am no, actually, I didn't go for a scientist because, once again, I looked at what the party had, and we were pretty well covered on a lot of stuff. So I went for Colonial Marshal, and that way I could at least be all right at fighting. But I'm more specialized into manipulation and observation.
Do you want to
I like it?
Do you want to man the switch of the missile system on the bridge?
I'm the missile switch flip guy.
I've already informed Combat Lifesaver Adams that his job is to man one of our 2 railgun turrets, and I can't turn an intelligence officer into a little ball turret. What if it popped out? That can happen if there's just one like parasite in the Amazon. If you pee into the river, well, it's a story for another day.
Yes, for those of you who didn't get a chance to look at it earlier, this is what the Ajax kind of looks like.
I figured when I'm not otherwise, my presence isn't otherwise required, I'd probably hang out in the sensor suite and just, keep an eye open.
Yeah, no particular.
Yeah, that's fair. So
there's just a really comfy chair here, and I enjoy sitting in it.
For the first, I would say, couple of days of your journey before you actually get to a listening station, which you're headed, I'm trying to find a token. Yes, that's the token I'm looking for. Thank fuck. Awesome. I'll deal with that later. For the first couple of days, you don't really have all that much to do. You're not. You would. On a longer voyage, you might go into cryo. This does not necessarily call for that. So I'm going to say you guys socialize to an extent for the first leg of your journey. What would you like to do?
Well, I make sure to have, I drink a lot of lattes.
That pans.
All right. So I'll let you continue before I say that.
I didn't have anything else.
No,
there wasn't a continuance.
I meant Pat, because I was gonna say that I'm just gonna say it. Ross is gonna find you one day by the espresso machine and be like, "Hi, Harris. I see you've been spending some extended periods of time in the sensor control. Tell me, have you found everything to your liking?"
Yes, the ship seems quite well equipped.
Indeed.
You must be proud to be its captain.
I am honored by the trust placed in me by the Admiral and the Empire, and to some extent, Fenrir Corps, although they put their trust where they're paid to. Tell me, have you observed any unusual behavior amongst the crew?
Interesting.
No.
Excellent. Just as I suspected, I handpicked this crew myself. However, if you do detect any signs of deviancy, I trust as a man of the Empire and exceptional student at the Academy to have landed such a prestigious post as intelligence officer, you'll do the right thing. His hand is definitely on, his M4A3 service pistol when he says do the right thing, and then he just says, as you were, and heads back to, plant himself on his turgid throne.
I look at your hand on the, I look at your hand being on the service pistol. I look down on my own frickin' Magnum, and I'm like,
I'm like, a man with a big iron on his hip. I approve.
Stop. You can't keep getting.
Well, I know the Magnum in the book is displayed as a bull barrel, massive hunk of iron, but I always imagined mine was a snub nose. But that's
makes sense.
Snub nose, that's very intelligence officer.
It is, yeah.
I'm like, it's not the size that matters.
What's the size of the cartridge?
Indeed. So, I'm assuming you guys probably want to spend some recreational time in the galley. You are allowed, of course, on your breaks. The galley comes equipped with a television, which plays a lot of your favorite sitcoms and programs from the Empire. The one that tends to play the most after random selection is one of the episodes of the Merry Boys, which is a program that you all know and love. It's a sitcom, kind of a slice of life sitcom in the Empire, and one of the antagonists. The thing that's playing right now, as this is going on, is one of the antagonists of the show, a slender, effete man, probably looks a little bit like Rainbow's character, is getting bullied by some jocks, the protagonists, the Merry Boys. Mary's their last name. and he's kind of a nerd. Nobody really likes him. His girlfriend in this scene just broke up with him because he failed to make it on the Grav Ball team. And, it looks like the Merry Boys are teasing him to the point that he might cry. And lo and behold, he does. And then the laugh track plays.
No, my favorite program is Oops, I Married a Buggo. It's about a person who gets captured by the Buggos, but through some pheromonal incident becomes one of their brides. And it's like one of those sitcoms that takes place at a prisoner camp.
But we believe that the public opinion anyway is that the bugs are like the pets of the Thren. Like the human government's official position does not acknowledge them to be intelligent, so that's like an evil dog.
That's why it's so funny.
Yeah,
exactly.
No,
they're just like
you married the dog.
It's like, oops, I married the dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I could 100% see as a 60s sitcom.
The Mirai comes in like Honey, I'm Home, but they just like bark, but they're a bug.
Nah,
like,
like, oh, you, and then the laugh track.
The protagonist is clearly, dressed up in like some frilly maid outfit and forced to cook for these savage Mirai, and basically they make like an entire meatloaf or whatever and hand it to the Mirai at the table really nicely, and then they just chomp down on it like animals.
They heroically poison the Mirai in the season finale.
Well, what happens is every episode, it's kind of like Blackadder, if anyone's seen that, where the hero is incredibly clever and determined, yet just through like sheer dumb luck, their plans never work out, so nothing ever progresses. So they try to poison them, but then it turns out the poison's just a spice they really like.
Yeah, it's a tragedy, a tragic comedy. Not the only one that's played by the Empire of that sort, but they're all good humor. If you want to listen to music, there's a number of patriotic boy bands that write songs about women who desperately want to find their lost husbands who went missing in the war. So they join the army and they become patriots themselves. Hey.
Is there punk music? Lucian probably listens to punk music.
There probably is. There definitely is some like anti-establishment groups. They're just very frowned upon to listen to.
We assume the
there's
lab is now,
state-sanctioned punk music, which is like obey the man.
Yeah, it's like Christian metal.
Don't let Ross catch you listening to that. There are actually some really, really blacklisted artists too, probably in that genre of things.
I have a question about Ross. Does Ross dress for less? How is their uniform?
I don't know.
Oh no!
Does Ross dress for less?
Ross's uniform is entirely regulation, bedecked with a few medals and not like super like heavy on the brass, but he's been around. At least some of them are service ribbons. But he also has some valor, and he takes very good care of them. You're not quite sure how, because there's not really like a laundry room in the spaceship. But the uniform is designed to be rugged for months of travel, and he inspects himself and is always up to regulation at all times, and is generally speaking something of a stickler for his own uniform. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem like he gives that much of a shit as long as you're not flagrantly out of regulation, however. And he would not comment on Io Harris or Representative Ritter's attire because they are not in the chain of command and thus not his problem.
And in fairness, I feel like Io Ritter's is like rather snappy.
Oh yeah.
If anything,
I mean,
if anything, Ross appears grudgingly approval of your like latex trench coat if we're going off Starship Troopers.
Yeah, that's not fair.
How dare you imply the exact correct case that I am literally wearing Neil Patrick Harris's outfit from Starship Troopers?
I literally drew Neil Patrick Harris from Starship Troopers.
Lucian is wearing like the standard issue like shirt uniform, but like the sleeves have been like torn off or like cut off really poorly.
I would approach Adams like coming in and out of like the like shower or something. I'd be like, Adams, what's happened to your sleeves?
Just a little fashion choice there.
Combat lifesaver Adams, you should Find an extra uniform and cargo. Imagine if you had to perform a life-saving maneuver and got someone's blood inside of your arm.
This gives me more mobility, Captain. It's designed exactly so that I can move my arms and everything.
All right.
So I mean, everyone knows that a sleeve really weighs down the arm.
Yeah.
Okay,
He also wears like far too short shorts, and he like just gesticulates them. And he's like, same reason for these, Captain. How else am I gonna move if I'm wearing that heavy uniform?
I will just like gently to the stream indicate something about Roger Ross's character sheet. He pauses a moment, looks like he's really thinking about it, nods and says, "Carry on, CLS Adams." And
wait, I need to look at your character sheet now. What? I don't know this, guys, and I'm the GM. I should know these things.
Yeah.
What is your character sheet?
So yeah, I mean, Ross doesn't give you any trouble. He's chosen you all because, like, on paper, you're all very good at your jobs. Like, Porter is a good pilot. You are a good medic, or at least you have to be able to appear good. So he just trusts that you're good at doing your job.
I mean, he did graduate from one of the most prestigious universities in the country.
What?
In the Empire, sorry.
I mean, yeah, but you're rich, so that still doesn't really tell us anything about your actual qualifications.
Amazing.
Like, you bought your way to the university, too.
Ross has utmost faith in the academic system because, he actually, he went to, a really nice school and believes that, because he
they went to the same school, actually.
It must be legit. Oh, yeah, no, actually, though, you're just both from, you both went to the same finishing school. You went to, Spacington. You're Spacington boys.
Yeah, exactly.
And Captain Ross will, sometimes be like, is that what a Spacington boy would do?
Lucian would give you the traditional handshake of Space.
Where are you head boy? Did you play rugby? Now we see why the Empire is so homoerotic.
Ross was not head boy and was extremely resentful of it, and is to this day, and it fuels his murderous passion to kill people in space.
It's definitely not head boy, for sure.
Anything that fuels murderous passion is a good thing.
Lucian was very on very friendly terms with the head boy, however.
I don't know if we can do research here. I'd like to know more about these people, so if I could look them up independently, I would do that first. But then I would talk to each of them and try to just discern as much about them as possible to see what they'd be like. Combat, I probably can't just find out why the intelligence officer is here, but I'd fish to see, is he suspicious of the captain, that particular people, try to manipulate him to give everyone something. And I'd also wear the captain to see if he was paranoid about the intelligence officer, or he seemed to have known he was coming in advance.
Lucian will request that all of the humans on the board, everybody but the robot, basically, come to the medical bay for a checkup, essentially.
Okay, cool. So, excellent. Let me tell you, Madeline, your initial survey reveals that our good friend Adams was indeed a POW under the oppression of the Poozies, who you would probably know their technical, or what they refer to themselves as. They do refer to themselves as the Thren, but you guys call them the Poozies.
What does Fenrir Corp call them? If the Mirai are insectoid species.
No, then they're mammalian. They probably species. Refer to them as xenomammalian species. X number of numbers.
Yeah.
But they also actually have taken to calling them the Thren.
Okay.
Because it is their official designation. Fenrir Corp, especially amongst the higher ups, and you probably would have caught wind of some of this as well yourself. They actually use some of the proper names for things. They even know that the Thren refer to the Buggos as Mirai, which you would possibly even know if you were interested in this, and I will let you say if you were.
I feel like it's one of the things that lower level corporate people do, where we try to ape everything our betters do and use that language and adopt their interests. So if they're getting into it, we'd be getting into it.
Definitely. So you would know them to be Mirai, and the Thran to be Thran, and you would probably even know that the Mirai means distant sister in the Thran language, which is some sort of degenerate, demonic, glyph-based language.
Yeah, I mean, humanity is none of those.
Yeah, no,
it's
disgusting. Disgusting and degenerate. So, yes, our friend Adams was captured by the Thran and imprisoned for several weeks and subjugated to brainwashing activities. However, you also would know that Adams comes from a very wealthy family with a lot of clout and seems
They're oil
to be,
barons.
Oh, yes, indeed. Seems to be intent on exacting revenge for this brutal abuse.
I actually believe the turn of phrase in the Empire is exotic matter Maharajas, but...
Oh, pardon.
So, does Fenrir Corp do business with Adams' family's company, and or would they like to? Or do they not? Like, are they rivals? Are they trying to get...
Yeah, no, hey, Adams, let me pass something by you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
What did I have? Shoot, I'm forgetting the name I had for this company that I had in my head not too long ago. But let's say Dutch Corp. Do you think your family might be from Dutch Corp?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. So Dutch Corp provides a lot of the gathering of exotic matter that occurs in. You would probably, because you're a higher up in Fenrir Corp, also know that the stars themselves were changed a very, 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 very long time ago by a species known as, or referred to in the higher ups as the Sunderers, and Dutch Corp is deeply embedded in researching their activities.
Whoa.
Dutch Corp also is one of the 107 corporations with a seat in the Senate, and is very, very powerful. Very invested in ensuring that this mission goes successfully. You probably are somewhat rivals with them, but not in any sort of competitive way. Just kind of for not for like direct competition for products, but you're in competition for sway with the Senate and the Emperor's ear. Because you guys make totally different things. You're more on the end of weapons and equipment, whereas Dutch Corp is an oil industry essentially in like space with exotic matter. That said, probably rivals. You probably know a lot about our friend Adam. Actually, Ross is a captain. Highest ranking. Has the ears of the Admiral. You'd probably know that Ross has performed a number of excellent endeavors and has earned his stripes. Horner, an expert pilot. None can surpass his talent at the wheel. He's probably fought in a number of battles, including the new Neo Roanoke. Came out a survivor, which probably means he knows that Vice Admiral Karen was the one who, Karen Marsh, gave the order to retreat, but was informed that everybody should say that it was General Zhang who made that order. Paris is an enigma to you. The IO and Thunder Corp are kind of on the exact opposite side of the spectrum here. Both of you know a lot about everybody else, but tend to avoid letting on that you know, and also don't, in general, share your secrets. And you know everything about meat, because meat is your pet.
Bodyguard.
Bodyguard, yes, that's what I said. Did I not say that? Crazy. Yes, so that probably, and you said you want to manipulate people, so I will let you have the chance to do so if you'd like.
Okay.
Yeah, and sorry, go ahead.
It feels weird now. Like, I don't know how to talk to these people.
like Lucian is excuse me, definitely gonna like basically ask that everybody come like one by one come to the medical bay to like be examined essentially for just like to have a general checkup to kind of have a medical analysis of the whole crew. So I mean, if you wanted to talk to Lucian, you can do it at that during that if you wanted.
Definitely. I'll say that the first. So everybody please roll initiative so that I can get something on the tracker so that I can kind of determine who goes first.
I mean, like I don't have to have an encounter with everybody. I just meant if players wanted to talk to.
In general, it'd be nice to have everybody's initiative on orders so I can refer to that if need be.
Let me reroll just so we don't have dupes.
I found it.
This initiative I roll not just the initiative of Commander Ross, but of the entire ship. That's basically how that works.
Okay.
Amazing. All right, so I think we got everybody. Excellent. Yes. All right, so Ross, if you would like to go, or sorry, not Ross. Ritter, if you would like to speak with Adams, that would be the optimal time.
I mean, I don't really need anything from Lucien. Like, it seems fairly straightforward why
you
he's
probably know
here.
a lot about him.
His weaknesses.
Yeah, you know.
Though I do still have a question about his medical qualifications in terms of examining people. Like, what level of medical training does he actually have? Like, is he a doctor or a registered nurse or nurse practitioner or like a normal one?
He was working with like the basically the Red Cross when he was captured.
Okay.
Yes, he was on a humanitarian mission in a frontier settlement that got brutally assaulted by the Poozies, and they took so many prisoners, and there was so much death and destruction, and he definitely.
Do I know anything about like the actual torture that happened? I assume it was like arts and crafts and therapy.
Yeah. Like realistically, there probably wasn't any. But that's highly classified, and you would actually have to talk to him about that to learn what actually happened in the POW camps. So Horner, you've been piloting this ship, right? It's probably not a very active duty while the ship is running through standard stuff in surf space. Is there anything you'd like to do during your downtime?
For anyone that swings by the bridge, you'll see Horner messing with what looks like a chain and a couple metal pieces on it. And he doesn't have a whole lot of motivation to talk to other people, but he would like to talk to Roger Ross.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ross insists that one of them be on the bridge at all times, and he loves just sitting on his throne and surveying space. So I imagine we are going to have a lot of quality time over the coming days as we go wormhole to wormhole to wormhole.
Yeah, honestly, you guys are probably going to get sick of each other.
Yeah, no, I mean, Roger Ross knows how to settle into a rapport.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you probably have flown some ships or flown some missions before. That's probably why you would have gotten Horner. In fact, sound right to you guys?
He's a great pilot, and I know him. Why not?
And wait, Horner was the one who actually escaped. Well, like was in the retreat that just happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Affirmative.
So that'd be the only person who had a first-hand knowledge of what we might be heading into, or at least what it was like.
Yeah. Also, by the way, I would say that probably by now, after a few missions, like, when no one else is around, Roger and Devin are on first-name basis. But, Roger doesn't let that on in front of anybody else.
Good to know. Good to know. So, Harris, I know you've been making coffee. Anything else?
Wasn't Devin going to say something to me?
Oh, goodness.
I was going to ask a few questions.
Yes, please. What questions have you?
Roger. I know we have our mission, and I know we are to retrieve or destroy the ship, but I sort of knew what was gonna happen. I sort of knew details about the mission beforehand, and
Indeed.
I was wondering if you had a particular protocol when we encountered survivors, because I hope we do. There were a lot of good men and women on that ship.
Certainly. I
Oh.
mean, a capital class carrier with all those vessels on board. If it is still life supported, and I mean, it's been weeks, so personal air supplies would have run out by now. But if someone's alive and cryo or one of the subsequent vessels has managed to flee, then we will do our best to retrieve them. However, as you are aware, we are entering what is effectively enemy territory, and a fate worse than death awaits those who are captured by the enemy. If worse
It
comes
should be
to
noted
worse-
that Human Empire edict is that there is no enemy territory, just temporarily not our territory.
Indeed. Temporarily not a
Nope.
territory. Yeah, so Roger Ross would basically say, in the event that we cannot save our comrades, the best we can do is offer them the Emperor's mercy. However, I will wait to assess the field before I make any rash decisions. It could be the case that the Hell's Heart has been disabled, but has rejected all borders. It has enough vessels on board that it could hold out for a time. Ross's heart does not sound in it, and after that he would say, Devon, to be perfectly honest, I suspected we were going to approach a husk and pump a warhead in its bridge and call this mission a day.
Oof, Horner, how does that make you feel?
I understand that that's a very strong possibility, but I hope we exhaust our resources of finding survivors in case we still have soldiers on board.
Of course. I would never sell a soldier's life cheaply who has served faithfully in the Empire.
Except for Marcus Cons.
I
He's
think
no longer
I said
considered a
faith.
soldier, so you know.
Yeah. So Roger Ross would fairly, honestly say, yes, we will take all efforts to retrieve loyal servants of the Empire. However, between you and me, Devon, it is possible that Captain Khan no longer ranks amongst that category. I do not suspect that he will be making the return trip with us one way or the other. I'll let you know out of respect and the fact that we have served together for long enough that I know you'll do the right thing if I prove incapable due to circumstance of me being dead.
I hope it doesn't come to that, sir, but I know what you mean.
As do I, Devon. We don't know what awaits us on the far side of the surf. All we can do is be ready to beat to quarters at any moment and assess the situation as swiftly as possible.
Agreed.
Would would Roger know what the chain and metal stuff you are playing with is?
I mean, considering that you're 10 feet away from me, you'll probably figure it out. It is a dog tag with a locket on it.
Ooh, did you ever open the locket?
Nope.
Alright.
Amazing.
Does it have your name on it?
If you get a close enough chance to look at it, nope.
Roger, out of respect, does not open that line of inquiry, and he believes that pilots often have their superstitions and lucky charms, and it is better to leave them to it.
Indeed. How mysterious. On the subject of mysterious, Shift Z, Mr. Harris, you spend a lot of time in that sensor control and a lot of time consuming caffeinated beverages, but is there anything in particular you would like to get up to while you have some time before the mission really drives home?
I mean, I'll probably go in for the checkup, and want to make sure I'm in tip-top shape and all that. Righto, cheerio.
So, Lucian, you've got a checkup partner here. What all occurs during that event?
Lucian, like, kind of. Well, do you just like enter like silently or like?
Wait, let me.
I mean, I'll probably enter. Yeah, mostly silently, then like clear my throat.
Okay.
I
Lucian
can't
like
find where I put the picture.
Lucian is like sitting at the desk. Mike Lucian? He's in the med bay already.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. I'm stupid. No, I mean.
Where's Harris?
Yeah,
Harris, you put him down here for some reason.
That was entirely intentional, not at all a mistake.
I'm dragging.
Thank you.
I already moved them. It's okay.
Amazing.
Epic. Yes.
Yeah, like as you enter, Lucian's like probably like working at a desk or something, and he'll just like without even lifting his head from looking at his papers, he'll like lift his eyes up at you, kind of, and be like,
hello.
Lucian will be like, just get on the table.
Presumably one of these.
There's several med
I was about to say what table? Just like
I thought these were. Are these like?
Yeah. No, they are.
Are they crowd pods? Or are they like?
They're
like,
med pods.
No,
so,
they're like.
If you get to them, you'll be able to read everything.
Okay. Yeah. Lucian like comes over and like starts tapping on some shit on the wall or whatever. Reading some. I don't know how med pods work in this universe.
Give me a medical aid check real quick.
Okay. First, is this like the first skill check of the game? No, the piloting one.
There's like a couple.
Yeah, I mean, the pilot rolled the fake turbulence. We've had some really important stuff go down.
Boom. All right, that is a success. Yes, you learn all the important details of Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris, what does our good friend Adams learn?
Do you have any sort of like
I'm actually I'm gonna send you Pat the test results.
Holy shit.
I was gonna say, do you have any underlying conditions or?
I bet you're just gonna send me like one word, big, or 2 words, big.
Yeah, like big TV.
How dare you imply that my memory would be so basic?
That is actually a little bit more advanced. Yes. So you learn that I.O. Harris does not in fact have COVID-19.
Oh my god.
The tests are positive for one thing though.
Yeah, it's biggest tickets.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Lucian's like, this piece of junk must be acting up again.
This is what I sent, by the way.
Yeah.
Do I open that stream?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, it's SF.
Yeah, I mean, it's all text.
Anyways.
So is that one Sonic fanfic. But.
Yeah, but really, he's healthy.
Yeah,
okay.
he's healthy.
No underlying medical conditions, I'm
pretty sure he's only here just to send that meme to everybody, but
I mean, no, I felt like engaging in this character thing. I literally didn't think of this meme until I was already in the chair. I was like, wait, should I have a meme?
Good on you. Good on you. Okay. All right. A little bit more respect.
Do I learn his, like, what's the word for that? Like, physical make. Basically, do I learn, like, his attributes, essentially? Like,
yeah, you would probably
like
learn
muscle mass, etc.
Yeah, let me tell you, you learn that he is, fairly weak physically, but very good at mobility and being smart.
So like type 2 what's the word for that part of your body?
Diabetes.
No. It's about your reaction times.
Yeah,
like
high reaction time, low ability to lift.
Is it your nerves or? Anyways, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Clearly, this is a medical officer.
Yeah, clearly. Lucian would probably go through like a checklist of like questions about your health, etc. Yada yada yada.
There's probably 1 or 2 very X-phobic questions on the list that you're supposed to go through. Just because this is the environment.
And
All that said, yeah, it's probably a fun time.
Listen, basically just like look over your data and be like, okay, you can go. Bye.
Very, very
just,
friendly.
Just go back to his desk.
What excellent bedside manner.
He like crosses his legs as he like one over the other as he like reads through your information.
Mr. Ross. Oh, sorry. Harris, did you have anything else that you wanted to get up to in this, a couple of days? Anything pressing?
Me? No, Harris.
Ross, you're up next. All right. I'm going to go ahead with Ross if Harris says nobody else.
Back in the center control.
Yes, Harris. Do you mostly spend your time busybodying and being in a very large throne?
I do, but I also like report to medbay because I assume this is just like a very normal thing, and I'm just gonna go for my checkup, and I hop in the pod.
Okay. Adams, you learn the exact opposite is true of Ross.
Oh?
He has everything but a big dick.
Everything but
Sorry, say it again, Ben.
He has everything but a big smort.
I see.
Clearly a man would be in charge of things.
And
probably
like,
yes, average sized.
I see. Okay.
I like how that's a standard part of the test.
yeah, apparently now. Apparently that's just part of the test.
Actually just like harvesting Schmeat data.
I mean, honestly.
And listen, like goes through like a list of like, it's like, have you consumed alcohol in the past 24 hours? Yes. Have you inhaled any kind of drugs or chemicals in the past?
Possibly.
It just like goes through the list and they're all like positive.
Amazing.
Lucian's like, well, besides your terrible self hygiene and etc., you seem mostly healthy, so you can leave, I suppose.
Like Ross kind of like sniffs himself and says like, "I'll be in the shower."
Wow. There it is.
Lucian's like, good for you.
Oh my god. Meat. You've been pretty much sidelined for a very large portion of this. What are you up to?
Anyone who Max, because he's in the sensor array, and I assume that has cameras on all of these or all over the ship. And anyone else who walks through the father core just hears this like nice, very this quiet, somewhat quiet, high pitched throbbing and modulated beep as I'm having a very intense and nuanced discussion of of how to use fear in military tactics versus tactics and strategy with the Father AI core.
The Father AI core is well versed in Tarkinist doctrine and concurs with many of your opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you have several, hours, or well, not several. Sorry, you have days worth of riveting conversation with the Father core, who more or less, exponentially increasing succession agrees with most of your opinions.
Yes.
In fact, roll me a manipulate check.
Oh, I'm terrible at that. Let's do this.
+1.
Ooh, oh, +1. Nope. I do not sway him to my side on the whole murder humanity thing.
Well, you've reached, it's been a couple days, and Father really can't leave. So you've more or less, convinced Father to agree with you on some of the finer details.
Mhm.
You're working his way on the broader scale of things. You feel like, with a couple more weeks, Father will be 100% on your side, whether Father likes it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. So, let me resume. And Ritter, I believe we've discussed what you've been up to. Although if there's anything now to add, feel free to.
No, just get on. And I mean, like, Max doesn't even know why he's here. I can't get information out of him he doesn't have. Like, at the moment, anyway.
It's quite true.
That's how good we are at compartmentalized information here, is that I don't even know my mission.
Amazing. You'll learn your mission in, a week. Anyway.
That's what you private sector types will never really understand.
So, you guys are doing some great shit. And, you come up upon a gravitational fluctuation. It seems like this is the signature of the listening post. You come in from a roundabout way. You send yourselves a bit farther than the listening post and double back. It's an old military trick. Works like a dream. Devin, roll me a piloting as you come in fast and hard. That is a single success. So, I'm going to ping it on the board. And whoop. No, actually, no, it's not great. Anyway, you guys see the round form from this distance of the disc-like listening post that you are supposed to coordinate with. It's far beyond enemy territory. Anybody captured this far into the this far past the retreat zone is actually considered in enemy territory, or as they like to say, temporarily not human empire controlled regions of space, or TEC. They're in tech space, basically. TNEC, so they're in TNEC space. So you find this disc-shaped station floating around in deep space, and you catch a signal from them. It's a distress beacon.
Well, that's bad.
Do you listen? Or do you accept their beacon and hear
First
what they have to say?
Roger comes on the con and says, "All hands, beat to quarters. Horner, get us mobile. I'm intrigued to hear what that beacon says." And then
Indeed.
I would come on the con with Io Harris and say, "Io Harris, I believe you're in sensor control. Can you patch us through the comms and let us know what you're hearing?"
Yes. Harris, before that command even comes through, though, you did just drop out of surf space close to your quarry. Wow, I'm really not good at English tonight. You come out of surf space close to your quarry. Roll me a contact before any of this even happens.
Okay, I'm bad at tech.
Yeah, it's great that you're hanging out in the sensor room all the time.
I mean, I was just hanging out there because it's a nice chair. Like, if we needed a stealth boy, this contacty boy, maybe they should have gone when important things were happening. I did fine.
That's a success. You're not alone in the deep space.
Alright, would accepting the beacon make us more noticeable, or can we just do that passively?
You can just do that passively. However, you would recognize the presence of, occluded by the disk, an object. Foreign object, not of Earth make. Very not of Earth make. And then the comms come on, and Ross informs you that it is your duty now to accept the comms of the ailing station. Do you do so?
All right, I'll open it up.
It's all up to you. Do you accept that and then tell them about the ship that is not of Earth make, or do you?
I will listen to. I will accept the message and we'll listen to it, and then I'll make a decision.
The message comes on. There's a very frazzled-looking man on the comms, and he says, "Oh my! I didn't know anybody was listening to the frequency. Are you here to help us? Oh my gosh! Are you here to? Or oh my God! Are you here to save us? We're desperately in need of extraction. The enemy is on their way. We've just detected that there's a buggo ship headed straight for us."
I will on like a separate line to the bridge. At this point, it'd be like, be aware before responding. I've independently confirmed the presence of a non-human vessel in the region.
Yes, there is a buggo, what you've referred to them as missile frigate.
I will, at this point, hit the DEFCON 1 alarm. Pat, am I allowed to put this on?
Yeah, hit the alarm. I got you.
I hit the alarm and say, all hands, you should have already beat to quarters, but if you're slacking, now is really the time to get in your seat. We've detected a non-human vessel in the system. Be advised.
We'll casually walk to the fire post or whatever.
I will get out of the sensors post because that's not really my job.
Where is the sensor room?
It's
It's like
over here.
all the way off to the
center.
side.
At the top.
Right over here.
Or to the right.
Yeah,
I will man my important battle position, the special machine.
indeed. Ritter, I'm sure you're near some sensors too. If you would like to roll a Comtech of your own, you could probably do so as well. You might not be the type to share this information, I don't know. Sadly, you don't expect anything further than has been informed of you to you. Assuming you don't push.
Navigator Horner, get us a clean shot.
So there is a listening post between you and the ship, which has been here, but is moving quite slowly towards the station. Its arms are out. It looks like it is intent on ripping the thing to shreds, as is typical of the buggos. God, I hate this. I'm gonna go with the current initiative order, but I will add one thing to the initiative. Oh my. That is an 8, which means that it is above Captain Ross's. Oh no, which means they're going first. So, the missile frigate is going to go ahead and open up upon the station with a Sidewinder array. Ooh, those are a number of successes.
It's 5 damage. As just
Yikes.
like a cargo bay pops off the side of it, and just a flurry of missiles slam missile after missile into the comms or into the listening post.
Indeed. So that lets off, and then I'm going to assume that their movement was involved in that because there's a movement. Lee, actually, since we're doing a space combat, and you're the one who's kind of fucked around with the rules, you want to co-DM on this one?
Yeah. Okay. So They have.
So they lost their volley basically, and they've moved.
All right. So and are they engaging us?
They're engaging the station at the moment, and the station has, pretty standard defensive mechanisms, but they can't hold out much longer. They've received a massive blow, and they're on their last legs.
The missile frigate does not manage to get much closer to where it is going, not because space has anything in the way, but because they are, posturing to try and not give us a clean shot.
Indeed. So in this augmented version of the Space Combat Lee, are we still following by the rules, which I will copy and paste into this page, which are to say that we're going in turns like sensor, pilot, gunner, and engineer?
We either do that, or we could have the enemy. I think probably makes sense to do it that way.
Okay. So what I was saying is basically they did their whole bit already. It is now the turn of the Ajax, and then I will go by space combat actions.
So we're on the sensor. Is anybody said to be like manning the sensors right now? Max, I know that you changed position to the coffee machine.
I think I'm on sensors now. Like this is the bridge position for them.
Fair enough.
For reference, I think that Madeline determined that we can only go dark once because you can't turn it off more than once, but it would prevent them from getting a lock on us. It's a reactive action. I would ask Representative Ritter if he'd be so kind as to get us a target lock on that alien machine.
All right.
I don't think I've ever done a space combat in this system, by the way, so
Oh, really? Well,
I'll just do what I'm
That one I'm gonna push. Like, come on, this is ridiculous.
You've got the best contact. The fuck?
Well, I mean, I'm not adding the +2 for the diagnostic device, but that wouldn't make any sense here. Like, this is a ship console. I know how to use it.
Oh, and you.
I mean, I guess doing. Oh god, that's the worst one you could possibly get in this world too.
There's a special table. There's a special table for panicking in space combat.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, is there?
It's around.
Probably even worse.
It's around where the damage is. 7 might be the same, but yeah. Also, like when I get, I don't know when I get my turns, but I guess we could say it happens before. I don't know, but at some point I will use my 2 fast action commands, but I guess it'll just be the next go around of the ship or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, actually, no. Go ahead and give me those commands.
All right, I'm gonna say, Devin, get us in position. We need to close in and close the gap on the range difference. They have us at an advantage if we're not nearby. And that's gonna be my first command.
Does that mean I get to react, or
It means when you make your piloting roll, you'll get a +1 modifier because I got 1 success.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna come on the comm and say, CLS Adams, show me how you squash a bug, as I command you to shoot at them, even though you might be out of range.
Ooh, you took that ability that lets you command twice. Nice.
I take field command because Roger Ross is about nothing if not sitting on a chair and telling other people to do their jobs.
Amazing. All right, so we've got one command towards the flight team and 1 command towards the towards the gunning team. So, all that said, Clarice, have we determined, I believe, the same panic roll as normal?
I don't know where that table is. Like, I'm trying to find
I'm
it.
looking
Like,
for it, but I don't
space
see it
combat
yet.
is.
It should be around component damage on page 200 or so.
I see a minor or major component damage.
I think it's
Oh wait, I see it now.
I'm
Space
looking at
combat
it.
panic roll.
Oh,
7 is the same. Nervous twitch. Your stress level and stress level, all friendly NPCs in the same compartment as you, increase by 1.
I think that's just me and you, Shin, because we're in the same compartment as her.
All right,
Yep.
all right. What page was that on this one? I'm
This
getting
is on page 205 on the PDF and 201 on the physical copy.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Oh,
I think
beautiful.
that's sensor phase. We get to the pilot phase, and for reference, you can't rubber band past the enemy anymore. So if you accelerate right on top of them, we get right on top of them.
Mm-hmm.
And
All right.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And you can think
Give
of
me
this
a power.
as 4 zones away from the enemy, even though we appear to be further.
Wait, how? What?
Because it's a relative range.
Sure.
So essentially, so while we're only 4 zones away from the center, they're also 4 zones away, and we are both piloting towards each other.
Yeah, every time we move up, they'll move up too. So like,
see.
I basically told you to like, get close to them.
Yeah.
So if you follow that order, you can accelerate, or you could try and exchange initiative with them. That's an option too.
No, accelerate.
All right.
Oh,
Roll
I
me
forgot to add a 1.
There you go. Lovely.
At
Lovely.
least one success, but you might get a stunt on them. Roll one more
Nope.
base dice and just see. Yeah, okay, it doesn't. All right.
Beautiful.
So we're both we've gone from the -2 range to the -1, which is a long range, and we move to the gunner phase, which is a good time to remind you all that we do, as a handout, have the Ajax sheet,
Yeah, I have it open.
and we only have 2 weapons that can actually fire at long range. They are the Short Lance ASAT and the Titan Array TAC nukes. The CIWS laser array is for just shooting down incoming enemy missiles. The light railgun turret is still out of range. But, is there anybody who's at a position?
I'm at one. I just kind of moved here. I don't know if I was supposed to like do my movement on turn order or something.
No,
from
no,
the
you're
medical thing.
I basically like deliberately told you to get in like a shitty little railgun turret. So you're shitty at short range weapon, unfortunately. Is there anybody here who can actually fire the missiles?
Oh no.
And Io Harris, would you come fire the missiles after you got your
So
launcher?
where is the lance? Where do you have to be in
actually-
munitions as well?
No, it's fired from the bridge.
Ah, I see.
But yeah, so Harris, you're just making a latte, right?
Yeah.
Then I would say that I probably like yell over the comms like, Io Harris, your presence is requested urgently at the bridge. And then that phase passes, we reach engineering, we don't have an engineer.
And then I respond, I lean on the little intercom, I'm like, alright, understood. Do you want sugar in your latte?
Yeah.
Sugar in a latte? Ew.
Lattes are delicious.
Alright, so...
With sugar on them? Like extra sugar? Like,
So I
Yes.
think we pop back around to...
Is that a failure on the gunner?
I mean, I can't shoot it. I'm not close enough.
the Mirai is
Try
going
to shoot.
What competence?
The Mirai attempts
What a
to get a lock on us.
Oh wait, does James want to attempt to shoot?
Yeah, actually, James.
Ooh.
would you-
James is also free.
Yeah, well, James. James, would Meat try and like come shoot the missiles?
No, Meat would enter and enter the bridge and suggest, Captain, what if I believe if we were to use our tactical nukes on our own information station to launch it into the missile frigate, it would both disable the missile frigate, not disable not destroy the information within the station, and provide an effective manner to intimidate future frigates.
Like, we came...
Ross looks way too intrigued by that, and he's like, "So you've run the numbers," but then then the Mirai ship acts, and it does manage to get locked unless we want to use the reactive go dark, which would be basically would be Madeline popping a reactive to.
Do you? Like, you're the captain.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume yes. Like, there's no real reason not to.
Actually, Pat, if they destroy the listening, have we gotten the data we need from the listening post?
You did pop into the station, and you have accepted a transmission. You haven't opened the file to see if you've gotten the information you need yet, though.
Well, right now I'm trying to draw them off the listening post, so I would actually, yeah, I guess I might, I wouldn't give you the order to go dark, but I wouldn't tell you not to either.
Okay. Well, on this turn, the listening post yells, "Please, we need immediate evac! Help us! We've been trapped here for weeks without any sign that you are ever coming back to retrieve us, and now there's an enemy ship in our midst. Please respond, Ajax.
All right.
Tell us you're here for us."
I'm gonna say, do your duty as citizens of the Empire. We are here, and we will not allow the enemy to overtake this position. And would the Mirai this time like split their attentions, or just try and open up on us?
I think you've made yourselves clear as the present threat. The station only really has some defensive maneuver mechanisms. Does not really have the offensive capabilities.
So they are locked on, and they are looking right at us, and it is the pilot phase. And yeah, I would say take us in closer.
Aye, aye, Capitan.
Yep, give me that piloting. Oof.
Nope. That's a solid nope.
You gonna push it?
You want to
Push it? Gonna push it to the limit?
Bear in mind, from our thrusters,
That's a yes.
Yeah.
you gain a +1. Okay, so alright, so
Nice
we are
done.
within short range. We're almost
Yeah.
to contact range. Actually, this is gonna be fucking brutal. Their initiative's before ours, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't switch initiatives.
Either side of the Mirai air quotes missile frigate opens up, and you see like row on row on row on row on Sidewinder missile, kind of turn more like a smart rocket kind of, and it's just like pour out in a hailstorm, and both of their Sidewinder arrays just kind of.
I instinctively launch countermeasures.
Excellent. Would you like to roll that? I think our gets a +2.
So I just roll my ranged combat.
Yeah, range combat +2. There's 2 separate hailstorms of missiles coming at us.
+2.
So this is our laser array
Yeah.
being activated.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Amazing.
All right.
Excellent.
So you managed to I think does each degree take down point of
Eliminates one success.
Yeah, eliminate success. So.
All right. So Pat, it would be up to you as to whether you roll that as shooting down both swarms or.
No, I think that shoots down both swarms.
All right. Yeah, we managed to take down both swarms, and with that, everybody who's on a gun that is now within range could roll an attack with the +1.
No, because that was the gunner action.
So as you know from the fact that the Mirai fired twice, we are allowing.
We've augmented it so that anybody who's at a gun, which there are a limited number of,
we believe this will speed up space combat.
Okay.
In addition to the coming at each other thing, but yeah, so
space combat is, in real life, probably not a prolonged affair.
Lucian Adams.
Yeah.
You are in a turret. It is in range. You could attack with a +1 to ranged combat, and it would deal. Let me check.
3, right? 3.
Yeah. Yes, a damage of 3. And Io Harris, did you come when I yelled for you, or were you just hanging out?
Yeah, I'm gonna push.
Oh, do I actually get to come when you yell for me? I was waiting for my turn.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Sorry. We're not. Yeah. Yes, you can. That was last.
Oh, okay. I can. Yeah. I also have.
Wait, what? It didn't put. Oh, sorry. I put stress on the. My bad.
I made you a latte. Here's
sorry.
a
Ignore that second roll.
I sip it. All right. One stress dice.
It has an image of the ship on it.
Kind of pushed my roll. Apologies. Well, I also stress. Heck.
There we go. That is ouch. Yeah, give me that. Okay, you keep it cool, but you do succeed 1 ranged combat.
Indeed. As you do, you see another berth just blub, 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 start pushing out. sensor decoys as like your auto aim goes wild, and you have to start wrenching the gun back into place. Regrettably, you wind up just shooting the balloons instead.
Oh.
Max, there's a lot of false decoys showing up. Although one of the 4 successes has been popped by Lucian's shooting. Do you want to fire our missile array? It would be ranged combat with a modifier of...
Is there any way for us to use contact to, like, make it easier to hit by correctly identifying the target?
I mean, I don't see why the various stations couldn't start just helping give modifiers if Pat's okay with it.
Yeah, sure.
But we are still gunner phase for the moment. So, Harris, you're here. You're at your do you go to a console, or do you just hand me a coffee and call it a day?
Yeah, I'll sit down to the console. You can go right over here.
So with the +1 from the range and the +1 from the weapon, that would be that would be a +2 ranged combat roll for you to fire the short lance ASAT missiles.
All right, take that, Sat.
This is, in fact, your job.
All right, so
Wonderful.
you exactly meet the sensor decoy's numbers of successes, unless Harris, you want to push that.
So that would be...
When you say push it, do you mean stress out and re-roll it?
Yeah.
Well, no. So it only re-rolls failures. So you would you would add 1 stress and roll it a -3,
Yeah,
and then you get your 3 successes from that.
So like a -1.
Oh yeah, I'll do that then.
Oh yeah, -1 total.
Yeah,
sorry.
just click the 1 stress box, so it'll roll you stress dice. Oh, Pat, do you want me to play like a more appropriate song at this point?
Yeah, I was actually kind of...
Is there music
hoping you
happening?
had Valkyrie.
Oh,
Rise of
There we go.
oh I was.
Side of the Valkyrie.
So yeah, that's a 6 successes.
Wow.
As the missiles just like tear through the frigate.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Sorry, we just found our new gunner, our primary gunner.
It's a base damage of 3. So yeah, so like the first like missiles get through, pop on the sensors, and now 3. So it's a base of 3, 4. That is 5 damage coming at the Mirai missile frigate. It rolls its armor, and it gets none of them. That knocks off half its health, and Pat, we now have to roll. Actually, Max, you do me the honor of clicking the D12 button.
Indeed.
Oh, I will do you the honor of that.
That is the major.
Unfortunately, I did a bit.
Oh,
okay, that's a good one. Okay.
What's the first major component damage option?
It is the first one is AI offline. The
Oh.
AI is offline. Takes 3 context successes to repair.
Damn. All right. Well, the Mirai AI is kind of a little bit more organic than most, but basically someone in comms is fucking KO'd. Excellent.
Yeah. Excellent. We don't do anything on engineering unless we want to have the Mirai try and repair themselves.
Yeah, the Mirai are going to try and repair themselves.
All right. I want me to pop that.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Save me some.
Party wipe. Thank you for the raid.
Woo!
All right. They do not manage to get their AI back online before sensor phase, as Representative Ritter has the chance to get a tighter lock, which might give a bonus to our future shooting.
Yes.
Okay, I mean...
rolling. So basically, I'm going to give you a bonus based on the successes you roll on a contact. Patching through the with the listening station.
So is this used for the... Like, shouldn't I just check and see if the message came through?
Actually, yeah, that's probably the better
That
move.
is also is also something you can do in this
Yeah,
round.
you could check the message, because the only reason we care about this listening post is getting that information.
Yeah, so I'm gonna check. Do we have the information we need?
Okay. You see, all right, roll me a contact real quick, just because this will determine how quickly you manage to do this. I'm sure you'll succeed. I changed it. I'm so sorry.
That luck.
You gonna push it?
I mean,
You
like,
scan-
you can't keep pushing this shit.
You scan the files that were sent over, and it just seems like numbers to you in this hasty.
You know what? Fuck it, I will. Like, we'll probably have downtime after this. Got drugs.
yes, those numbers, they all come together in your head. You know that you have received the data that you need. This listening post is no longer necessary to your mission. In fact, you would go so far as to call it superfluous and potentially a hazard to your completion of your mission if it is, in fact, going to be captured by enemy forces. You would think perhaps, considering you have the information you need, that it's no longer necessary.
We've got everything we need, Captain. So, the station is really more a liability than an asset at this point.
Very important question. Our nuke array, how many shots do we have with that?
Excellent question. I believe we have quite a few.
I think a dozen or two.
Yeah. Certainly.
We're just carrying a dozen nukes on our... cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Human Empire.
Hell yeah.
You don't want to go around naked. Yeah, so I'd say on the piloting phase, I would give Devin a command and say, Devin, do what you think is best. You could either bring us into really close range with them, it's +2 to piloting roll. Either bring us into really close range with them, or I would say you could use a maneuver to line up a better shot on the enemy, but that's your preference.
I will say maneuver.
All right.
Maneuver to get a better shot.
All right, and you get +3 on this piloting roll. From +4, +1 from our thrusters, +3 from my command.
Mm-hmm.
Give us that stress. The panic. That's
did roll 3 successes, though.
Keep it together, yeah. Yeah, so that's a bonus of +3 to both of our gunners as we move. And the Mariah missile frigate is also going to try and maneuver better into position.
I concur.
And,
one success.
Yeah.
Probably reduces one from the gunning.
Yeah.
Bonus.
So I think that we now go to the gunner phase.
Yeah.
And,
so do we have +3 cumulative then? Because it's plus
2.
No, because it's +3 because of the piloting, and then we have an additional +1 because of the weapons we're using, right? So then it's +4 and then -1 from earlier.
Yeah, and then a -1. Yep, that sounds right. Mm-hmm.
Alright, so in damage and bonus are two different things, but yeah. So okay, we're coming up on it. Your gun doesn't incur any bonus to hitting, only to damage.
Oh, but you told me I had a +1 last time.
Yeah.
Commands.
From my
That's
command.
from
okay.
just
Yeah, so first
the command.
The Mariah missile frigate at a +1 is going to fire twice.
Mm-hmm.
As it continues to just fucking unload sidewinders.
Ouch.
And do we have anybody on the laser array to pew 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 pew? Those three
Sure,
successes we
I'm
have
still
coming.
there. My eyes you notice my eyes keep on wandering towards or my eye keeps on wandering over towards the nuke flippy the switch button. But I'm still on the array.
Really big central one.
Okay.
You of course have depth perception.
However, they still hit us with that second.
So that's 3 damage incoming. The Ajax rocks as it takes the hit on the glands, and we hope the ablative armor.
Do we? Oh yeah, I'm are we not going to roll for armor?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
Why are we calling it the glands? Why are we calling it the glands?
Look,
I have no idea.
Because
Looking at that, I don't
even
know
military, while they did not ask for by name, when they were asked what kind of ship they wanted, they described a dick ship, very persistently. Finry report delivers.
Right. So what happens?
Glands is clearly an acronym.
Right now.
Here's a question: who wants to do the honor? So we still take 2 damage, as is the absolute swarm of Mariah missiles. Finally, some of their dumb, weak missiles get through. We lose 1 point of armor because 3 of our points of armor are ablative, so we're down from 9 to 8 armor. And does someone want to roll us a? I think is it a D66 for the minor component?
Minor is
It
D66.
is.
All right. Who wants the honor?
No one wants to roll it.
All right.
I will
You're the
do it.
captain,
Oh no, Captain, you do it.
Yeah, all right, yeah. It's right and proper. The captain roll a D66 on his own ship's minor component damage. A 36. So what's a 36 in minor component damage?
A 36 is
So
docking station
instantly
damage.
blows up.
Station damaged.
What is?
Docking station damage.
Oof, bummer.
Alright, so I'm gonna
Oh
send
no!
some sort of damage to the
What good
ram.
is our dick ship if we can't dock?
That's the ramp.
I hate you so much. Oh my god.
Let's see.
Okay.
Yes,
I made
you
a
got
fucking docking joke on stream.
Yeah, and like, you have like the scuffed up texture, Pat. You can like throw it down there or something, I guess. But
Oh yeah.
so that's the Mariah
You know
missile
I-
frigate shooting. It's our turn to shoot. You and I am going to order the femboy in particular, like, squash this bug
Ow.
and to prove forever that you are a man.
He doesn't approve of that name, but
And yeah, so I'm giving you a bonus of like 2. You got a bonus of 3 from Devon, but then 1 got taken away by the Mirage maneuver. So 2, so like +4, and then the range +5. Make me a ranged combat +5, Rainbow, and then Max, if you want to fire the missiles again, you have a +1 from the weapon and a +2 from the range. They are again going to fire their sensor decoys.
can I push after I see their decoy, or have to do it beforehand?
I think you can push before after you see their decoy.
Okay. We got 5 successes on board right now.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So wait, no, 1. Okay, yeah. So you guys have 5. They have 1. I'm gonna say it catches some of like the missile fire. But Lucian, you punch through on their ship with it's a base railgun turret's base damage is
3.
3.
Yeah.
The missiles is also 3. So taking out one of the missiles,
Is
4.
apparently
4.
armor piercing as well.
So that's hold on. Okay, so they're gonna roll against you 2 separately, I think. As the Mariah missile frigate tries to take with only 2 tries to reduce the damage incoming from the railgun, and it does a little bit, but not enough. And then tries to take the damage incoming from the missiles, and what do you know? So 4 minus 1, 4 minus 1. That's 6. It has 5 left. You guys rivet and blow apart the Mariah missile frigate as it just sort of like back into space as debris, and it seems that we have achieved total victory over the foe.
Wow.
Indeed.
We just killed them right. So sad.
Washed it like a bug. You indeed would see several of the bugs flying through 0G, completely incapable of moving as they freeze or asphyxiate, whatever they do. You're not sure about their anatomy. But
I would.
there's bodies flying through space now, and the ship is in twain.
Roger Ross says open a hailing frequency with the listening post.
Done.
Alright, listening post designation here. It seems that you've failed to activate your self-destruct sequence. Why is that?
Sir, we were expecting extraction. The retreat. They were supposed to come our way and retrieve us from our duty.
But that's not what happened, is it?
We were hoping that someone would come.
So, how many of them are there? How many people are on board a listening post?
There's probably a crew of 15.
And can I take 15 extra people onto the Ajax?
Nope.
Oh, come on. There's no way. I mean, what if we have to rescue people when they actually get to the Hell's Heart?
Yeah.
Question,
People.
Madeline, have you put a target lock on the sensor array?
No, I mean, I could do that now.
Have you put it up? Okay.
Roger Ross will say, I ask again, given the circumstance, and the fact that the enemy are about to overtake you and steal valuable data which could cost
Good
Human
point.
Empire the war,
Kind of.
why did you not initiate your
Lock
self-destruct sequence?
sensors. See if we can get that going.
Sir, we were
Nope.
awaiting orders from High Command, sir. We were unsure as to how to proceed, sir. We did not get a direct order to terminate, sir.
I see. I think I understand what the problem is. Hold one moment.
I'm actually gonna lean over to the comm, and I assume there's some sort of code phrase that intelligence officers have to like identify,
Other
like something like, "Hey, sparrow flies at midnight," that sort of shit. And they'll respond like, "Only when the crow cries." And so I'm just gonna lean in and be like, "Hey, sparrow flies at midnight."
You don't hear any response.
All right. I lean back in my chair.
The moment that there is a target lock, by the way, without even bothering to warn anyone else, I'm just going to accidentally lean on the button and launch the nuke array.
All right. Well.
Well, there isn't a target lock because I'm trembling and a panic because I've never been in space combat before, and apparently I find it distressing.
I lean over my shoulder and say, "Representative Ritter, think of what your corporation would consider this representation. Get a hold of yourself and do your duty to the human empire."
Okay. Are you actually using the command power that stops panic?
I am in fact using the command power that stops panic.
Amazing.
Okay. There we go.
So are we no longer in a combat situation, by the way?
That's a great question.
Yes, but I have not told you to stand down.
Fine.
I mean, you can stand.
So
you can get out if
there's
you want, but Ross hasn't told you to.
God damn it!
This is gonna damn, your roads are awful. This is gonna make us.
That's
make us
even
really
worse.
What is it?
Just experiencing all of the space code. That one's ignore orders.
Amazing.
So for the incoming turn, I cannot. Yeah, stress level increases by 1, and I can now respond to orders for the next turn.
I'm gonna be like, Navigator Horner. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but cowards and those incapable of fulfilling their orders are precisely the reason we found ourselves in a slaughter in the last battle, are they not?
It was a contributing factor.
Indeed.
One second. Horner, you would actually know that the fact that anybody survived this is they ignored General Zhang's order to attack and rather accepted Vice Admiral Karen's order to retreat. That said, probably go with what Mr. Ross said.
Commander Ross is going to say, "It should seem that this listening post is incapable of following the proper protocol. I believe that there is only one way of rectifying a malfunctioning self-destruct sequence that we have in our possession."
I would say there are many solutions to this. It would be unfortunate to lose the station.
Not really.
Just to get, just to clean it out.
Can I use my talent here, by the way?
Which talent?
What is your talent?
I have the calming presence talent. I just try to get rid of one level of Claris's stress.
Lucian just plants his booty shorted ass right on the controls next to Claris, and somehow it just soothes her.
Okay, Clarice, how do you guys not know how to pronounce this?
Clarice?
Okay.
Clarice.
Pardon. I didn't know. I only heard people say Claris. I'm sorry.
Clarice. I've been saying Clarice this whole time.
Have you? Okay.
I was going to say, the reality is that no help is coming, and if the enemy capture this listening post, they will have sensitive data relating to all ship movements. That they have proven unwilling puts them in direct dereliction of duty. There is only one punishment.
Ritter, you are no longer panicking. You want to try that Comtech again?
Alright. Really feel like the pilot could just do this, but let's see.
Well, the pilot is conscientiously objecting.
Would Devin?
And then the moment I see lock, I just lean backward, or lean to the side, like I'm all casual robot, and the button goes down.
Assuming we are short range, I think it's -1 from the weapon, +1 from the range. Straight ranged combat.
Neat. Give it to me.
I'm assuming that Devin's console would blink with Titan array active after it had already been shot.
Out of curiosity, the explosion radius of the nuke, would it affect us at short range? Okay. Just making sure we're not suiciding on the first
No,
mission.
no, it's a relative thing.
Contact range would kill us. Though, probably.
Over a very long.
Okay.
All right. So I mean, Pat, you did mention that they have self-defense combat. However, I'm assuming that because the IFF transponder on the missile is Human Empire, their automated system would not open fire upon it.
Yes, exactly.
Sliding right to the point defense.
Straight where it belongs. You penetrate its defenses and erupt it from within.
Ross comes on and says, "All hands, stand down from combat procedures. I'm ordering a moment of silence."
By the way, as we never actually closed the comm lines, I save the comms coming in as they vaporize. You know, for fun.
You probably would hear, "Wait, are you firing upon? No!" And the silence.
Woo.
A patriotic anthem plays as you've all done your duty for the human empire. Excellent work. Very well done.
Ross
you made
holds
some
the
tough
salute for a
calls.
full minute silently, waves it off, and says, "At ease. Horner, we have our coordinates. Plot us 10,000
Indeed.
clicks out and surface there on an arc."
It's
So,
always
you
the
have to
most
escape
fun when they
gravity.
don't expect it.
You have to escape the gravity well of this space debris, and you also have to plot a proper course. So I'm going to say, Miss Ritter and Horner, give me a Comtech and piloting respectively.
All right.
Okay.
Successful piloting.
One
That is
success.
And a very successful and also panicking.
Yeah, no, Ritter, you've never really.
No, wait, I took one of your stress levels away.
Yeah, you did. You took me down from 4 to 3.
Oh, okay.
It's okay though. You're starting to get used to this whole space combat thing.
You've never really experienced anything like this. That said, you're kind of getting the hang of it, and
Yeah,
So-
that is it together.
yeah, no, it takes you a while, but after a day's worth of flying around in space, you are finding yourself getting closer and closer to a gravity signal or a gravitational fluctuation, which would indicate to you that you're nearing some large structure or celestial body. You know that gravity wells such as this can be generated by a number of things, one of which is, in fact, your quarry.
Have we had time to chill out?
Do you have time to chill out?
'Cause
It's-
I would immediately order Horner, surf us there once we have the info. Do we have time?
Yeah.
Would we be considered, off edge to go to zero stress?
Yes, you do have time enough to return to zero stress.
We also have a broken docking port. We need to fix that.
You probably need to fix that.
Yeah,
yes.
The engineer will fix that.
Yeah, I go on the radar and say, "Engineering to the boarding ramp. Get that fixed."
A day later, after probably a day's worth of, character development and such, you encounter an object floating in space near an exoplanet and debris that indicates there was a scuffle. You see a Thran ship scattered amongst the debris. One of the larger dreadnought ships, probably the source of the gravitational fluctuation, and the debris has begun slowly orbiting the exoplanet, but you also see your quarry, the Hell's Heart, floating.
Yes, everyone, it's another dick ship. The human empire really loves its phallic imagery. It's everywhere.
It's the most aerodynamic and masculine symbol that we could make.
God bless the
Yes,
Empire.
aerodynamic, very important for spaceflight.
It's all about intimidation.
Oh yes. certainly
It's
it is.
why
Making it
rather than worrying about sizing up the girth proportionally, you just make it longer to make it when it gets bigger.
Exactly. And on this note, I'm going to say that we've come to the end of the very first session. I'm going to use the bathroom, and then we'll start working on feedback.
All right, who
See you guys in a sec.
is there anybody who needs to go sooner, just so we can like have that order for Pat?
I mean, I'm pretty tired, but like I don't
I'm chilling.
have to go.
Yeah, if nobody else has anything, then there's no reason that we don't have that be the basis, and Madeline can go first. Oh wait, hold on. I feel like we should play the Change Stars theme that Cole made for the outro.
Ooh. We are done for tonight, though, right? With
Yeah.
Yeah.
playing.
Pat's calling
Okay.
it. We're-
I'm just gonna close my character sheet as well.
S'more.
Oh wait.
Shout out to E-Man. He's making some pumping tracks like Ice Ice Hill.
Double Cole.
Oh boy.
Gonna switch around my screen so looking at you guys is no longer staring distantly into the abyss.
Hey, Pat, Madeline's going first.
Okay, yes. Madeline, what did you like, didn't you like, and what do you want to see more of?
Okay, so what I liked, I mean, obviously the world building is amazing, and there's so much detail that's kind of gone into Changers in general, and like making this prequel and seeing things from this very different, very skewed perspective. So I thought that was kind of cool to see like the villains and to see this very, I guess, like toxic attitude that the human military has, and a like different but equally toxic attitude that Fenrir Corp has. So that stuff is fun. I guess what I didn't like was that there's probably too much exposition. Like, I kind of wanted us to do more of the things. Like, I get it, it's like the first session, but I don't think, like, this is the kind of party where we need a bunch of character establishment interaction. Like, I think we kind of need to get that through the action because we're built, like, we're not in a chill hangout situation. We're not friends. So I feel like sometimes, like, you can't always approach party interaction the same way, and here we probably need to be in these more stressful situations before we start opening up to each other, like before it's just going to be a bunch of maneuvering. But yeah, so I mean, but like I'm excited to see where this kind of goes, what we find in the Hell's Heart or don't find, what kind of interactions we might have with the Thren and the Mirai. Like, it's going to be really interesting.
Absolutely. I'm sorry I didn't get more into that, actually. I did not anticipate the beginning to take so long, and that's entirely on me. I definitely dawdled my feet, and I dwelled too much on the exposition, and I really could have probably gotten further into the actual action of it, and I'm realizing that. I realized that, actually, before the break, and I'm like, oh. But,
okay. I mean, we still had, like, a ship combat. Yeah. And, I mean, I'd say, like, the new ship combat, it's a lot like, I think it worked better.
Yay.
I mean, like, it still maybe could be a little more exciting, but like we had weapons that could do things. Also, we were a military ship, which helped. It was faster.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. All of these things are contributing factors to why it went a little bit smoother than usual. In the main Change Stars system, you probably aren't trying to like completely knock the fuck out of the enemy ship like you guys are now. So, you know, you guys are actively at war. So anything goes.
Yeah.
If you have any questions,
it's a sobering moment with the ship, like the whatever the station was that was like destroyed.
Yeah, you guys performed your duty and you destroyed your own vessel. You destroyed your own listening station. Crazy. 15 men, and or women, and also countless amount of technology and such blown to the astral wind. But hey, that's your job.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, no, thank you
so-
very much for coming through, and I'm very happy to have you. And obviously, I'm really, really excited to see how your character progresses. This is gonna be awesome.
And I love that the murder bot is like my bodyguard instead of just like a military project. That seems like it adds an interesting layer of tension as things progress.
Yes, I recall at the beginning of the session Lee being like, who does the murder bot take orders from in response to potential disobeyment of his orders? Well, it turns out not him.
Yeah,
so
James and I sort of assumed like the captain, but no, it's a Fenrir Corps bot that's responding to the Fenrir Corps representative.
Yeah, no.
I think
Fenrir Corps got their fangs in this motherfucker.
Fenrir wants. I mean, it makes sense. Like, of course, they want their bioweapon back. Like, that is like paramount importance. But they also probably don't want to let it to the military that they have something so valuable in the enemy hands. So they're like, gosh, how do we negotiate that line between normal amount of representation and success?
There's murder bot.
Exactly. If the military gets this before Fenrir Corps, then bye-bye Fenrir Corps.
Yeah.
Who needs them? We've got the bioweapon.
Adams. Ross would give you like a slightly approving, like slanted eyes, like head nod the next time he sees you.
Okay.
He's not upset that Lucian advocated against murdering the 15 people.
No, I will. Did Lucian have?
No.
Lucian didn't speak of
people.
You know, he has his own opinions on it.
Lucian shot the bugs.
Yeah.
The bugs, not the human beings. Yeah.
You know,
I mean, Lucian has opinions about killing 15 people, but you know,
now
not that he's been made aware
of. We don't nuke the station and just, you know.
Yeah. Lucian, I wasn't even. I don't think I was on the bridge when that happened. Was I?
Yeah, I think you were because you came there to comfort me.
Yes, call me.
Indeed, Adam showed up kind of towards the end on the bridge. But yeah, no, excellent. Thank you very much for your feedback, Madeline. Thank you for coming through. I know this is not the standard change star system, but as always, love your characters, and I'm very, very excited to see how things progress.
Yeah, I'm excited to see too. Night, everyone.
Good night. Who has to go first out of all of y'all? Or else I'll just go by initiative order.
No one.
Okay, I'm going by initiative order then.
Oh, I cleared out the initiative.
All right, then I'm going by who I see first. That would be Devin Horner. So,
all right.
Feedback.
First off, I really enjoyed this session.
Is the beginning of what I hope to be kind of a short campaign. So I definitely intentionally didn't space things out as I would if they were a one-shot. But again, I have not run very many campaigns, period, and also especially recently. So I'm definitely in need of some feedback.
First, I definitely did enjoy this session. It was a lot of fun. And I'm excited that this wasn't a one-shot and that there is a continuation planned. The ship combat felt a lot better. It was a lot more responsive and went by a lot faster compared to, I think, the other two times I did ship combat.
Yeah, I feel like you've been here for every single ship combat.
Yeah, it's been through phases.
They've been pretty
I think this phase is a good one.
Thank you.
I do feel a little bit bad for censors or whoever's on censors because they don't seem to have a whole lot to do. But I mean, as you guys did earlier, like giving them a bonus to gunners or something like that, that would be good. And I definitely enjoyed having the ship combat turn order and options in the map. That definitely helped a lot since I didn't have to keep flipping through pages.
Totally.
One suggestion would be, since you have space on the other side, to put the ship information there, like the stat sheet.
That's so smart.
Throw down the stat card, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way we don't have to keep pulling up the stat card, putting it away, looking at this. Or, I don't know, maybe people have a lot of screen space. Maybe they don't have a whole lot.
Yeah, but you mean like this, like throw down the Ajax here.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I'm assuming that'd be a little bit easier for the viewers to see what our stats are and keep track of it along with us. I do like that you gave us a chance to banter and get a little bit into our characters, into our backstories, or what we have for backstories, and our motivations.
I wanted a little bit of that to shine through. It's gonna make the rest of what happens much more interesting.
Yeah. And I'm excited to hopefully change our path from murder hobos to slightly less murder hobo-y.
Definitely.
Yeah, only slightly.
Well, I mean, you know what I'm about, so I'm excited for that. What didn't you like?
The beginning was a little bit slow, but I do appreciate the exposition on like why we're here, some key characters that we should probably get to know, and because of that emphasis, it makes me think like, yeah, they're coming up again, and they're gonna, probably screw us over, but it'll be fun.
Who knows?
But yeah, the negative was it was a little bit slow in the beginning.
All right. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. The beginning was terribly slow, and that is entirely my fault. I spent the entire first half of this monologuing, and I should have reeled myself in. That is entirely
well. Luckily, this isn't a one-shot, and now you can reap the benefit of that. So, since you went through it so much this time, next time you don't have to do as much.
I fully expect to let all of you guys do all of the talking next session. Hopefully. It's gonna be fun. Thank you very much, as always, for coming out, Shin. I love you. I love your characters. You are phenomenal. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
All right. Next person I see, Carol Harris. What did you like? Didn't you like? And what would you like to see more of? Feel free to.
All right, I'm gonna start by saying something I've said for pretty much every game I've played with you, and you've definitely been working on, but it kind of came back with a vengeance this time, and that is, it was like a solid hour and a half of exposition before gameplay started. Which, the weird thing about giving criticism for this is it's always super interesting exposition. So, like, it's hard to hate on, but on the other hand, like, imagine, it's like playing a Metal Gear Solid game. You start up the game, there's an hour and a half of cutscenes before you actually get to play the game. And, like, it can really feel weird if you're like, yeah, let's go! And then you're like, oh, wait, nope, we're gonna sit here and watch a movie. Like, a whole-ass movie first. And then I'll play a game. So, like, I feel like it could go faster, and there's some stuff which you could bring up when it's relevant later. It's just like, oh, by the way, here's the thing about the world, as opposed to front-loading it all, like parsing it better throughout the whole thing in general. I also think we could have done character introductions on the ship, sort of alongside the interactions, and just kind of had hints of characterization peek through during the initial meeting. I think that would have been just a bit more interesting, and also sped up the bit where we don't do anything.
Yeah. That could have been a good way to play it. Bugger. Why didn't you run this?
Because if I ran this, it would just be me and Lee arguing over some minutia point the whole time.
Yeah, fair. That's not wrong.
No,
you make some great points.
The things I did like, though, I think this overall, despite some very valid things I just said, I think just call my own criticism very valid. Whatever.
No, I agree with you, though.
I think this was a very good session. I like the new way we did ship combat. I like the characters. I did enjoy the on-ship interaction, although I also agree with Madeline that I think it might have been nice to do it more organically later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
I like the
agree with
espresso machine. Every time you put an espresso machine on a map, I'm like, hell yeah.
Which is every map, by the way.
I mean, it's the best bit because I still remember they were like, "What's cool things on Fallout?" I'm like, "This fucking espresso machine," and they made pixel art of it, and I just love it. Every time I see it in the games, I'm just like, "Yes, I want one in real life."
Lee has a hard on
so
for
bad
that,
to me.
for that. It's on every map, which isn't a bad thing.
I fucking love it too.
It's great. It looks amazing.
It looks
It's a
good.
great asset.
I just realized,
Yeah.
why haven't I 3D printed myself that espresso machine?
Oh my god, you should. The fuck?
I mean, like,
I
probably
don't
a small size one, because a full size one would be massive and take a billion years. And
Yeah.
I am 100% certain that out there is a full-size working version of it that you could buy.
oh, no way, no
With what
way.
money?
Oh, with lots of money. You would need lots and lots of money to buy it. But
Don't you know we're all poor? Come on.
Okay, well, I'm gonna look up Fallout espresso machine, but I think I'm pretty much done with my.
Yes. Now, what do you want to see more of? What do you want to see more of?
Honestly, I'm really glad. Like Shin said, I'm really glad this isn't a one shot because I'm looking forward to more of it. I think that'll be more fun. Once the cameras cut, I do want to talk to you about some of like the secret motivation stuff.
Totally. Absolutely. Yes. And to expedite the process of getting to the secret shit, I will go ahead and move to the next person. All right. So let's have Lucian Adams. What did you like? Didn't you like anything? Feel free to lay it on me. I'm unused. I'm not used to running a quote unquote campaign.
So I won't harp on with what everybody said. I also agree. The long just like speeches about the world and like that, and also the I think you kind of, I don't know if you have like talking points or they're like mostly pre-written or something, but like you just like you'll get on a point and just like talk about something for a while, and we're just like sitting here listening to you, which isn't like always bad.
There was one pre-written monologue.
Okay, like they aren't always bad, but when you like go through like a bunch of them at the beginning like that, like yeah, it gets kind of boring. But I won't. I like that's all I'll say about it. Like you have plenty of feedback on that already. I don't need to harp on it. I don't think. I will say the character interactions that we had were fun. I was hoping so. Okay, like the little bit there once we were on the ship and like on our way, kind of thing, and you just said like, so like, what do you guys do like during that time, right? It would have been nice if you had maybe kind of pre-planned a couple of like character specific like interactions to like you know, I just pulled the like checkup thing out of my ass, but like if that could have been like something you had pre-planned, like, and if it could have like a sort of gamification kind of thing to it, like some sort of like, you know, mechanical thing linked with it, like like I know that was completely improv, but if you could have had like one or two, like, you know, like maybe one of those for each player, like sort of like pre-planned or something,
like a small prompt that we could work
yeah
with.
just a little prompt, or like a little like it doesn't have to be like a prompt per se. You could just like explain, I guess that is still a prompt, but just like you could explain like the medical base here, and like, you know, traditionally the medic of the ship would kind of, you know, get everybody's like diagnostic, like, you know, medical information at the beginning, like, you know, something like that, like for all the characters, could have like prompted those character interactions a little bit more and made it a little more like natural for the players and stuff.
Totally. I wanted to. So the reason that I did it the way kind of that I did, I wanted to see who would naturally do what. But I think you're right that giving a little bit more of a prompt could definitely expedite the character characterization process in the future. You know, I'm sure you've picked up by now the reason I even gave you guys that much time to just kind of banter and to chat and stuff is because I want to see how your characters play out, and I want to see you guys develop your characters a little bit on and off screen, and you know, like come to think in the way that your character would think, and figure all that stuff out. So I really, you know, I want to see more characters in this I want to see your characters in how they would normally behave. But that said, I think that you're totally right. That one thing I could have done to make this an easier process and make my vision of how this should play out, which is to say, characters encounter X, Y, and Z and react, is that I could have made more of a script, and not necessarily a script, but
it's not even scripted. Just like something that like when we talk about like a prompt, like it doesn't have to be like a something that you say that you want like a specific outcome. It's just like a way to start to get the players role playing and like just get them in the same room doing something together, and then the players role play from there, right? With just being like you have free reign on the ship, like do whatever you want. Well, like unprompted people, Max goes, I guess I'll just drink lattes and do nothing. like so like if they're like something like that.
What I did very well with regards to that, I think, is probably during the vacation episode where I gave people like a number of things they could do and let them pick out which ones they wanted to do. So
that would have worked too. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think I should probably come up with something like that in the future when I'm trying to make people characterize themselves. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
No problem. Let me see. What else was I going to say? I also agree that I'm really glad this isn't a one-shot. I think the story would have been so, like... The story you're trying to tell just would not fit in a one-shot.
No.
And I also think... Well, sorry, I'm trying to find my... Where did I put... Okay, there we go. Yeah. I wanted to apologize to you about, like, just dropping the whole, like, rich kid family business thing on you. I know we, like, literally didn't discuss that beforehand. I, like, completely forgot to tell you about that. I apologize.
No, that's fine.
But yeah, I don't think I have anything else really, like...
What do you want to see more?
I'd like to see, like, so... These random goons are like not actually supposed to be characters, right? They're just like people on the ship in case one of us dies, right?
Pretty much. Like they'll be characters if you make them characters, but otherwise they're kind of just goons.
Yeah.
Unless you want to interact with one of them,
I don't know. It'd be nice for there to be like an NPC or something, maybe one or two.
No, there
like,
is
on the
quote
ship,
unquote an NPC. Any one of these people you could interact with, and I would thereby characterize them.
Okay.
That said, they're just kind of nameless goons unless anything actually happens.
Yeah. So like I'm reserving judgment on like the whole like, character interactions outside of the party, but like as of right now it was basically just the Admiral. So, but like I know the story is gonna progress and stuff, so I am, like I said, not making a huge comment about that, just like a side note. And that's it. I'm
more
done.
NPC interaction. I fully expect to get you to more NPC interaction. I kind of expected to get you there actually this session, but I did not quite pan out that way. So
that's okay. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much for your feedback, and as always, love your characters, love you, and can't wait to see how all of this progresses. I'm very excited for the rest of this. It's gonna be great. Okay, so 2 more people. Let's go with...
I'm so sorry. I did miss something. I don't know if the other players agree or the viewers agree, but I enjoy the like kind of co-DMing stuff. Like, like some people might think it's like a little I don't know what the word would be, like, it's probably like a little like taboo, I guess, in like the role like TTRPG like community, I'd say. But I just disagree. Like I think it's fun and I think it works. You guys kind of play off each other and like I don't know. I think it's fun. So yeah.
I mean, also Lee actually was very intrinsic to the actual refabricating of the rule system. So I kind of figured, why not let Lee explain more or less what we're doing. Like, Lee and I talked it over a bit before the session started, and we were like, yeah, this is where it drags. This is what we want to kind of fix in the future. But Lee's kind of the person who's got it, like, all, you know,
part of the reason that it's not written down, and when someone was like, can't I just X to do Y? And I was like, yeah, sure you can, was that I determined that part of the reason that, like, this was a space combat drug was, like, it was overly formalized for no good reason. So, like, you know, I'm going to be encouraging creative solutions and keeping the general superstructure.
Yeah. And frankly, I think the whole sensors round that serves kind of as, in a similar manner to the the officer's command ability to give a player a degree of success later on. I think that's a phenomenal addition to the system, and the sensors round otherwise is pretty friggin' sparse, and it neglects the person who's designated as the sensor person. And I actually, when I've done it in the past, I've skipped that round, as well as engineering, unless anything actually comes up. So yeah, no, I think that the way we're doing it now is much more expedient and more inclusive. And part of, you know, that's entirely because Lee helped me figure that out one night, and is helping me code the space combat stuff.
Yeah, and you and Rainbow, have you been in any of the space combats to compare this one?
Like once.
One, I think.
And you say this was better?
Honestly, I think I zoned out so much in the last one that I don't remember, so yes.
Oh, okay. It's not maybe great data points. But yeah, awesome.
Sorry.
No problem. It was kind of forgettable.
No, wait.
What was it?
And that was like actually half the session. The one. So you were in the Blue Devonian. That's the combat we're talking about.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that's
and that one was. It was most of the
was,
session, and it was
that
forgettable.
was like a third of the session.
Yeah, but it was like the second session.
We spent too long on it, but yeah.
It still took forever. I don't know.
I designed that Space Encounter 2, to be fair.
Yes, you have been helping me the whole way through on Space Encounters. Period.
Anyways, move on to something else.
Yes. Let's go to James with a meat. Beautiful, beautiful. What a fun name.
So I, other than the stuff that people have already talked about, the cutscene in the beginning that was hours long, and the fact that you and Lee running this new space combat system was really good. I would agree with Rainbow that sort of setting up the in-ship encounters a little bit more from the beginning, because like from beforehand, might be might make it feel more natural, because it was very staccato as terms of like there was turns, but it was turns interacting with other people, and so then it was like confusion as to what turn it meant and whose turn it actually was and everything like that. Other than that, overall I really enjoyed this session. I look forward to seeing how things will progress in a lot of ways. I'm glad that this is not just a one-shot. And I do still miss the ability to rubber band past ships, because I thought that was hilarious. Or if you just accelerate too fast, and you're like, nope, I'm past you guys. I need to pull a Yui real quick.
Hilarious, but added a few more hours.
To combat.
Yes, no. As I said, the space combat, the changes you made were very good, and they streamlined. And the one change I really liked was the gunnery change, because I thought that was the dumbest rule.
That you can only have one gun.
Only one shot per ship, no matter how many weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking dumb. I never stuck to that, but I except for like a couple times.
But yeah.
It's always kind of rule.
That wasn't a me saying no. You should totally include that. That was a me saying I kind of missed it because I thought it led to funny scenarios.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And do you want to see anything in particular more?
Nothing that hasn't already been said. Right.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you guys next Saturday. But before I let you all off, let's have Lee's feedback. Lee, Captain Ross.
Yeah. So like it's pretty obvious by this point that I was a DMPC.
DMPC.
I love the fact that James went exactly where I was thinking. Where I was like, oh, Ross is gonna nuke the listening post so that it doesn't fall into enemy hands, and then Meat was like, I'm gonna nuke the listening post. I'm not sure if it was because it would have fallen into enemy hands, just because Meat wanted to nuke the listening post. But that's definitely part of why the Titan array even exists as a thing that we have. You'll notice the
Ritter,
damage,
Ross, and Meat were all on the same page there.
the damage is listed as X. Yeah. I thought that it was fun. I thought that we had a good time, and overall, I hope that we get to use the whole of this ship, or a significant portion of it. And there's some portion where like it's important to be able to move around the ship because, like, this ship took a while, as you might guess, and I did some Lee colors. There's like hours of video of you making this.
I also agree.
The session 4 inevitable betrayal of the robot and the ship's AI as you try to figure out how to escape.
Amazing. I'm sure that'll eventually come up.
But yeah, I liked how it worked out. In terms of what you did, I liked some of the exposition. Not gonna lie. At first, I was like, "Ooh, change stars early on." # problematic. And so I was like thinking at it from that perspective, but when I was actually here, I was like, this is fine because like we're all laughing at it, right? And we set up why a majority of the party like would have a change of heart, right? Because they participate in something that they're really not okay with, and this opens them to the possibility that maybe everything the Empire is doing isn't okay. So I think that overall, this was a fun combat. We have, of course, planned out a different space encounter, and I'm eager to see how that's going to go. I'm thinking I'm going to have to come up with some extra rules to handle that sort of stuff. Although we were technically ready to run it right now. And overall...
Yeah, I was expecting it to actually happen already and be done with that already. Well, but,
overall, I had a great time. The set is great. Mega Corps, Marines, and Monsters. And... Yeah, I'll drop the link in the chat for anyone who doesn't know. And if you guys want to see a video of me, like, just building out the Blue Devonian... Hey, Jor! Aww. Thank you, Jor. Yeah, we do make a pretty good co-DM team. I would say that as well. I feel like we previously discussed doing like a Whisper or something in a similar setup. The difference here was, like, I did get a PC, but, like, it's understood... I hope it's understood that Roger Ross is, like, a PC with quotation marks.
I mean, yeah. You're playing it. So actually, you know what it is? The fucking Alien RPG is really good about letting players make cinematically interesting characters. For instance, there is entire rules about a player going, into betrayal mode and fucking over the party, and basically PvP is legitimized in the fucking game. I'm not saying that Ross is a PvP character. I'm just saying that, like, the Alien RPG system is very forgiving for narrative character development. Like you can be a character that is interesting as part of the cinematic concept of a mission, but maybe not somebody that you would normally want to be as a player character, you know? Like,
I will also say...
am I making sense?
Yeah, we've started to move.
You're making sense.
We have a new YouTube channel called Diesel Shot Final Cut. It is for edited content. The first edited content we're moving into is just stuff of, like, us making things, and as part of that, I streamed for literally hours today building the Ajax. And we're going to cut up some of the more interesting parts of that and add commentary. You can see the highlight in full, but you'll also see the VOD in full. You'll see the highlights and such week early on the Diesel Shot Patreon that is linked to. That helps us keep the lights on. Also, you might have noticed during the break screen that we have Zach Smith credited as one of our diesel patricians, and there is certain tiers that have various rewards, and I will leave it at that to not chill too hard. But you know, we appreciate all the support and all the ways that we get it, including just like the red eyes and having chatters come through. I know I've been very responsive to chat. I'm up at PATS for 2 weeks. We're like 1 week into that, and it's with our devices and Wi-Fi scenario. It's hard to work chat responses, harder than normal. When I'm back in my place, it'll be a little bit easier. But thank you all for coming out and supporting us. It really means a lot, and it feels like we're entering a new stage here at Diesel Shot, and we are happy to have you here with us for it.
Before we send our viewers off to another team, what do you want to see more of in the Rigid Stars campaign?
I want to see at least one, like either terrestrial or like guaranteed boarding scenario. Just because I do want to see how this group does in that sort of an environment, not necessarily a combat environment. But I will say that I am of the opinion at this point that we necessarily didn't advertise the fact that this is a space combat campaign, but it totally is, which is the problem. But you know.
Yeah, I also did not know that. So
I mean, I do not expect space combat to be the only thing that happens.
Right.
Period.
Awesome.
At this point, I'm thinking it's going to be more of a, just in case anybody's counting, more of a 4 to 6 shot. I've completely written off the table that this will be a 3 to 6 shot.
Wow, drop the whole session.
Yes, because we did not get where I thought